And hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. We are Hard Knock Dice. My name is Jonesy, and this is our Eberron campaign. And these people around here, sitting around me, menacingly, are our heroes and my best friends. Today we're going to be continuing our journey in Eberron, specifically New Kyrie, a refugee camp just southwest of the Mournland. One of our players, Crowley's previous homeland. So we're going to be, what do I mean by these people? I mean these people sitting around me menacingly. I said the words. I said the words that I meant. If I was surrounded by your characters, it'd be pretty menacing, not gonna lie. However, last we left off, unless anybody has any announcements, and I'm just getting ahead of myself by jumping in. No announcements? Any good stuff, bad stuff? Cool. Audio seems good. Awesome. All right. In that case, we will jump right into our recap from last week and a little bit before. Our heroes were making their way south from Passage after upsetting House Orion a bit, just a bit, stopping a plague in the that was sort of emanating from the Eldritch Groves, and in doing so met an ancient green dragon named Barathas, who is seemingly trapped by some higher being named Vash, Lord of Zoriat, if you will. And as I shouldn't read chat as I do recaps. That's just a bad idea. Learning a little bit more as they talked to Barathas, they found a giant rift going from Zoriat into sort of a pocket dimension that Barathas had found and used a bit in hiding out in for a while. Showing this rift to Zoriat to the adventurers, they knew they needed to inform some people pretty quickly. Sending out some information everywhere, and a lot of them realizing sort of the impact that this would have if this were to spill over into the material plane. They made their way south with their new charge, Lydia, that they found, who had found her uncle less than human when you guys encountered him. I mean, not really with the hellos, but you took her south to New Kyrie to her parents, Abet and Neela, after talking to them for a bit. Abet seemed to have some insider information as well on this sort of child trafficking, and I have to stop reading chats. Our heroes explored the town of New Kyrie a bit, Abet being their guide, just sort of pointing out some places, some also recent issues of kidnapping, which happened as early as two weeks ago, even. Seeing that these heroes are freed a group of children from Karnath, and they actually had made their way down to New Kyrie, Abet knew that these guys were the real deal and has invited them to some sort of meeting. But however, last week we left off with everyone in the market getting later into the evening, about 4 or 5 p.m. at this point. RTM shopping for some finer accoutrement and clothing, getting sort of chaperoned around this large clothing tent, and the rest of them doing some shopping as well. Milo, a bit dejected from his project failing with Lydia, is sort of just dragging along Kashik's coattails at the moment. That is where we left off, though, with Gandalwin, however, splitting away from the group, going to look for a temple, and that is where we will pick up. So, Gandalwin, it doesn't take you long. Yeah, you did get a little bit sloshed the last episode, pounding down quite a few strong dark ales. So as you make your way, I'm getting a lot of white noise from somewhere, guys. If I can get I don't know what's going on. Let us fix this white noise issue really quickly. Really? Okay, maybe it's just on my end, or no, it's probably, if I'm hearing it, then OBS is probably hearing it as well. Unfortunate. Is loud? Okay, I'll get that fixed. There we go. We'll get that we will get that turned down. I'm not sure where the white noise is coming from, so sorry guys. Okay, well, yeah, it's I hear it regardless of who's muted, because you muted last time, but we'll continue on regardless. Just make sure to speak loudly and clearly as we go along. RTM, you continue shopping. The rest of you sort of perusing the market. Crowley was perusing for some particularly exotic musical equipments, or at least exotic in this area. Not finding any, however, Ganwin drunkenly stumbling away from the party looking for a temple of some sort. Ganwin, as you sort of make your way around, it doesn't take you long. I'm not going to make you roll any checks for it or anything. After talking to some people, as there are still plenty of people on the streets, you go talk to some people at the food tent. There's actually a little temple district not too far from here. They point you in that direction. You stumble that way, still just sort of in that half stupor. A lot of things going through your mind currently regarding the war. However, you do stumble down a street where you encounter a temple of the sovereign host. As you continue down here looking at this temple, you see a couple of statues out front depicting past leaders of the church, it seems, past vassals of the sovereign host. As you make your way in, this is about the largest church you see, and if we would, I will actually sort of show you the outside of this temple in the street, just so we can sort of set the mood and everything. And we will hop right over to roll 20, and we're gonna hop over to our new battle map. All right, anyways, we'll continue on forth. But this is about the extent of what you see, Ganwin, as you sort of drunkenly stumble through the street. It is quiet at this point in the town. No worries. Thank you so much, Stacy. We really appreciate it. Your comments, and as we sort of navigate this new sort of layout that is hopefully a little bit more engaging. But anyways, back to our story at hand. And when this is about the extent of it, it is a sort of very quiet night around these parts, leaving the hustle and the bustle of the market behind you. And it's fairly quiet, other than a couple of torches out front of this church sort of crackling as you walk up.
Okay. I just make my way to the door.
Okay. The door is open. It's not really much of a door, as it is just an archway into an open. It's like there's a slight sort of push open double door for you, but it's not locked or anything. And you make your way into a fairly deserted temple. You don't see any people around you. What you do see is on the opposite side of you, stained glass with statues, much like the ones in front, but smaller, like 3/4 size to human life, sort of recessed into the walls all around. As you're walking down, looking at each of these statues, sort of starting from your left and just going from, because they are on either side of you, small pews on either side of you as well. You see on the first one, an expecting woman carrying a bundle of grain. To your right, you see a slender mage with just books in hand. Another on your left, you see just a burly man adorned in hunting gear and hunting trophies across him. You see on the other side, a commoner woman with her hand outstretched as if she were trying to help someone. You see a woman paladin on the other side, donning heavy armor and holding a halberd in her hand. You see a physically built man with a long sword in one hand, sort of tipping to the ground, and on the other hand in the air cheering. You see on the other side a chubby stout man grinning and patting a money pouch. And another one on a short older woman with a single coin in her hand, as if she's like flipping it between her fingers. And then you also see a strong dwarf holding smithing tools. Those are sort of all these statues that you see recessed. No one in here. Your steps very much is sort of echoing out around this empty stone space around you as you're walking around.
I got you. You said this, so there's nobody in here. Is there like seating, like pews, or is it just kind of like an open thing with like the recesses?
Yeah, there's pews on either side of you. like this temple is not very wide across, especially with these stone statues on either side, sort of recessed into the walls. But yeah, you have 3 or 4 pews on either side.
Okay. Probably momentarily after entering and just kind of standing there looking around, that noting that there's nobody there to talk to or ask questions, just mumble a little bit to myself and just pick a pew that seems to be most like kind of in a corner. Just like sat down in it and set it, head like just lean forward, head just kind of resting on like hands put together, just thinking, I guess, because since I can't do what I meant to, what you've been seeking to accomplish, is I'm gonna spend some time in here anyway.
Okay. You're sort of sitting there, hands clasped, and then just sort of against your face, sort of drunkenly trying to process some thoughts and everything. You hear almost immediately behind you, in the pew behind you, you hear a voice. You having troubles, friend? You look back behind you, so you see a slender man, dark skin, sort of a short curly dark hair, shaved on the sides, sort of in like an orange holy gear, it seems, or like a tunic of some sort. Sort of just sitting there, feet kicked up on the pews behind you.
Had he been there when I first walked in?
No, he was not.
Yeah. Okay, that's creepy. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I mean, it isn't everybody.
Yeah, of course they are. But you, and he gets up and walks around, sits on the pew beside you. Seems you are having particular issues.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps. What do you know about curses?
Sort of looks up. I'm not much on curses. Myself, I'm a warrior.
Oh, a holy man. He was a warrior.
Yeah?
I admit that I'm not particularly familiar with just kind of glancing around the temple. Southern host. So
He says, to be honest, neither am I. I know one. The one that drives me well. Sort of points over to the statue with the long sword in his hand up in his chair. The rest of these things, whatever. It's the one that's sort of driven me along.
And which one's he? Like looking over at statue.
Gives you a confused look. When you say you don't know a lot, you're not lying, friend.
No, not at all.
This is Doldorn. You know nothing. Your face is...
Nope.
Shoosh.
It was exposed to only one faith.
Was it the bottom of a rock?
Might as well have been.
Apparently. No worries. And he sort of claps you on the back and waves you on. Sort of just like follow me along.
Look around at us, I'll just kind of
You've been drinking? No worries, I don't care. And he sort of becks his statue. Doldorn, listen, there's going to be if you stick around temples and you seek them out drunkenly like you do this, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to fill your ear with a bunch of shit. And at the end of the day, it's going to be on you to decide whether you believe them or not. And I assume Ganowin is not taking his swords and daggers off of his belt.
No.
Okay.
And I have 2 quivers of arrows just hanging off the
Hanging
back
off
of
of
my belt
you,
as
yeah.
well.
You're a fighter. Fighters look for strength in battle, and this is one that can give it. Unless you want to go with that stuck-up bitch over there, and so she sort of points a thumb to the statue of the paladin in full plate and a halberd in hand. But
Oh. He just gives strength. Tans it out.
sure, as much as any god does in Eberron. Listen, you're looking for something to believe in, otherwise you wouldn't be here, friend. I'm just trying to point you in some sort of direction.
I figured temples have people who can answer my questions about
Sure.
curses, unless you're just a warrior.
Yeah. I was part of the church. Long time. Still am. To some degree. But as I said, people will fill your ears with things. They'll tell you how the world is, how it should be.
Nod, like,
Yeah. So you're out here looking for answers. If you're looking for answers specifically on curses, I can't help you. I know nothing about curses. A curse is something I cannot fuck or fight, so I care not.
How old does this guy look?
Maybe late 30s.
Late 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a sound outlook, I guess. I don't know about gods, but this being here doesn't make me exactly comfortable.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not just this town is
Spooky.
perhaps.
He sort of nods, looking at your chest where your parents' rings have slid out from under your shirt. You know, being on the temple, he says, "Who's the girl?"
There's no girl. Tuck him back in. Just memento.
For who?
Help. No. Just my just my parents. Long time ago.
Sort of reading the situation, just goes, well, were they warriors? As you laugh
No.
and sort of think
No.
back, your mind sort of instantly flashes back to the moment of the memory that's just been sort of replaying your hand of your mother grabbing your dad's sword out of his hand and then just slaying a few creatures until she herself was slew.
Warriors when the need came, but preferred to be merchants. Travel. This world is not very kind to
Well,
those intentions.
warrior when needed is good. Warrior in a garden is better than a garden in a war, yeah?
I guess. But eh. It was a very long time ago. Long
Well,
time. Ask your warrior.
yeah.
Did you take part
Yeah.
in the war? Does it bother you? Still?
Not still. I've found my piece.
In your god?
Sort of looks to it. Nah.
That would be too easy, I guess.
You're looking for answers in the wrong places. Don't wander out. Wander in.
I don't know what that means exactly.
You are a dense piece of driftwood, my friend. He sort of chuckles and slaps you on the shoulder again.
Yes.
Says, I am trying to sit here and be wise like I am supposed to be, but gods, you are making it hard. This is probably not new to you.
No. I can hit things. That's about it. Haven't really been good at much else.
Well, you hit things for the right reason. He sort of looks back to the statue.
I don't know if there is a right reason, honestly.
Of course there is right reasons. You're not that dense.
Right reason depends on who you're talking to.
Why do you fight? You don't fight in the war still.
No. Gods no.
So when you're not fighting for at the behest of other men, who do you fight for?
Me and mine, mostly.
Yeah. Who are you fighting for now?
I have some friends who I travel with for the recent past. They're closest I've had to having anything for a while.
Seems like you found the right reason.
Depends. I think so. Much as it matters, anyway.
Well, don't have answers for curses for you, but
Not many people have. Doesn't hurt to ask, though. I won't figure it out on my own, so as you said, I am dense. I'll have to find other people to answer those questions for me.
then you're not so dense after all.
You change your opinions very swiftly.
If you're looking for help, you seek out answers. That is a sign of a non-dense person. I did not think I would have to connect that dot for you. Jesus. I am glad you have friends here.
In my defense, I have been drinking a bit, but
I have a feeling that is not that is not the thing making the difference here. Just a sneaking suspicion.
it doesn't help.
Fair enough.
Well, thank you, I guess. Still not particularly comfortable, but I'll take that. Take that as it comes.
If anyone ever says that they are, they're lying. I never got your name.
Yeah, my apologies. My name is Gandalin. Yours?
Gandalf. I am Uriah Zindel.
Uriah Zindel?
Yes.
Properly complicated,
It is a name.
I guess. It is a name, but Uriah Zindel.
Your name is
Lots of
more
letters.
syllable. Gandalwin, Uriah. I mean, come on.
Uriah Zindel. I was like counting on it.
This is not too hard.
Hard enough. Good. Doldorn.
Looks back at him. Yeah,
anyone who offers strength can't be that bad.
As they offer strength. Some people just find strength in believing in something higher. Find your truth for it. Don't listen to other people. That's my advice.
Listening to other people has not worked out for the most part, in my experience. But you say she's stuck up. Looks over at the other statue.
Meet a couple of her followers. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
They will keep that in mind. And be on the lookout. I guess. Oh, odd. Priest who only knows one god, and vaguely to that. Very interesting.
Sort of pats you on the shoulder. It was nice to meet you, Gandalf. And I never said I was a priest. And just sort of walks away from you.
Shrug. Staying there for a little bit longer. Just kind of keep thinking.
How long are you going to stay there?
Stay there long enough to sober up.
Okay. In that case, we will flash back to everyone else. Where we left off in the market, Artyom was doing some shopping for some clothing. Milo and Koshik were doing some looking around, I believe. Crowley looking at some of the instruments, the dwarves, if there are anything, Melgrim and Gorham, if there is anything either of you would like to look for in particular around this place, or if you guys would just like to group back up and head out to some sort of direction. Right now, you are down one Gandolin.
I would also like to see if they have any places for more seed flower. Flower seed.
Flower seeds?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll say they, while they're not seeds, they have like seedlings, plants small enough to think that, you know, if you were to plant them, you could grow them fairly easily. Little, flower booth, if you will, under one of these tents. Yeah.
Word.
A smaller, older, darker skinned woman. How may I help you today?
Yeah, I'm looking for, I don't know, you have like flower seeds or herb seeds. As starting a garden of all kinds of things and different plants, and just wanted to add a big variety, you know.
Sure. Is there anything you're looking for in particular?
Well, I don't have too many particulars. Just if you had some, I just kind of like look through the flowers that she has. Oh, some of those would be nice, and some of these big there. If you have like, you know, I just need the seeds to grow myself.
Okay. Are you going for looks as in just flowers? Are you going for sustenance as in food, or are you going for things that are going to help you with like alchemical production?
Mostly just things that look interesting.
Just interesting looking plants. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me just a random d20 roll then.
Random d20 roll.
Yep.
That's a 13.
13. Okay. As you're sort of going through these and just sort of picking out interesting things that look interesting to you, she kindly bags them up for you for a total of, depending on how many you want to get. What are you getting exactly? Are you getting arms full here? Or
yeah, probably like an arms full.
Okay.
Yeah.
After is that 1 gold, 5 silver, please.
Word. Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. I'll give her 2 gold.
Thank you. She takes her tip. Is there anything anybody else would like to do? Or RGM, if you're not done, that's my bad.
No, I'm done. Yeah, she's good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, if it starts getting late, I will just sort of. I don't think there's really any particular plan, but head back towards Lydia's house to escort those folks back to the ship eventually.
Yeah, it's about probably about 6 p.m., 6 or 7 p.m. at this point as you guys are making your way through. Again, when you say, well, I said it's probably closer to 6 right now with that conversation. That conversation's still going on right now. But yeah, if you guys would like to group up and head over to Lydia's house to go ahead and ferry her up and her parents up to the airship, absolutely.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Making your way back over to Neela and Abet's home. They are sitting there ready for you. In their sort of window cracked open, Neela just sort of looking out on the street, seeing you guys walk up to the door. Crowley up front, they sort of, you see the window, the curtain swing back down, and then you see them open the door without even knocking really, and just having a couple of like bags and things to go, sort of sacks of clothes. And you see Lydia in some new garb, a nice colorful dress that her mom seemed to have picked out for her, and some other clothing along with her.
Just on the way there, I would lean over to Artyom. Where's Gondolin? Has anyone seen him?
He was wandering off down the streets.
Should we go to Lady's house first and find him, or I mean, is he just gonna meet us there?
I mean, how drunk did he look after we finished eating?
He drank quite a lot of ales, I think.
Well, just sitting there holding these plants, like, let's see.
Nice
Yeah, I
plants
guess
you
we should look for. Yeah, they're going to grow very well. It's going to be great. Anyway, yeah, we should find Gandalin. I will try to. Well, no, Barrett's on the ship. I can't use him. Shit. Well, let's just go to the house, and we will put plants there and look for Gandalin after.
All right.
Yeah, that seems to be the best plan.
Okay.
Where is everyone else at?
I would assume you guys would have gathered at this point in the marketplace before heading over to Abet and Neela's house.
Don't know.
Everywhere, spread across.
We're right here, Artyom. What are you talking about?
He's
Oh,
got
these
big plants in his
plants are
eyes.
so I can't see anything.
I'm right
so
in front of
Can't
you.
see
If
anything.
you move the plants and look down,
I didn't even know
Oh,
Belgrim
you're
was with me
talking,
until he
eh?
started talking.
You can't see anything.
Old milky eye.
I see about as much as Gorham as he just looked like on the screen there.
Oh Lord.
Just half of a face. No, yeah. If we're all there together, then I guess I'll set all my stuff down and go try and find Gandalin.
Where you're just heading in the direction that Gandalin went to?
How long did we eat for? Would you say that might have been a short rest?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but you guys ate for a while. Probably over the course of 2.5 hour meal, as you guys sat down with some good food, good beverages, long enough for Gandalin to get drunk and Crowley to serenade people nearby.
All right. All right. Well, I could go fly around and look for him. I don't know if he could. I don't know. Be just drunk in an alleyway somewhere. Where does Gandalin usually go? I mean, did he have anything he needed to buy?
I don't know.
he usually just wanders off. I don't keep track of him.
I mean, yeah.
He's a grown up. He can look after himself.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up on the streets, right? He should be in his element. He'll be fine. He's not too short that people will confuse him for a child, so he should be safe, right?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
And if he does get kidnapped, we got a man on the inside.
This is true. It might be beneficial if he gets kidnapped. He'll be fine.
Good lord.
A couple of you can't help but to think back about how much of a child Gandalf can look like sometimes.
That's behavior, not appearance.
Hi.
Well, if we don't see him for too long, I guess Koshik can
I'm
always
gonna-
give out the full message.
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I was about to do.
Hey Jones, I don't know if you saw. A couple of us got kicked off of the music
Oh
server
yeah,
thingy.
Soundtail.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
wondering
dude.
why I didn't hear my
Yeah, I also believe the stream hadn't been here. So.
yeah,
Forsooth.
because I haven't been hearing it. So I've created another room. However, I should just completely exit out of the app actually. Give me a second, guys, while we get our music going back again. But while y'all do this, go ahead and Kaushik, I believe you were going to send Gandalf a message.
Send him a send it.
What would you like to say to him?
Sorry, I was trying to find the spell to mark it off. I'm just going to say, Gandalf, I'm not sure where you are, but the group of us are headed back to Lydia's home. Send. I type that out in my phone and I send him the text.
Okay.
Get like an AOL messenger.
Ding.
Okay.
You've got mail.
Yeah.
I have created a new room, guys. Apologies everyone at home again for all the issues. The new room code is going to be 4893.
4893.
Yep.
That is 4 numbers.
And it's the correct code, surprisingly.
Interesting.
Counting is good.
These do not have. Well, the last one was 5. Was a 5-number code, so that's weird.
Oh, it saved the volume setting too. That's good.
Weirdly
Yeah, that's
inconsistent.
nice.
Real quick, Jones, could you spell
Yes.
that dude's name for me?
Yeah, I can.
Forgot to ask you.
No, so no worries. His name is Uriah Zendel. URIAHZEN.
Calm down there, Chief. UAAH.
No, URIAH.
Zendel.
Yes, ZENDEL.
I almost spelled it right because I typed it out in my Eberron notes, but I spelled it with an E, like EURIAH, and then ZINDEL instead of E. Dang it, I
Wonderful.
was so close.
Wonderful. Donkershine.
Donkershine.
Doldorn guy. That's his label for now.
Doldorn's a pretty cool guy.
Are
Okay.
you gonna respond to my text?
That was my question.
message?
At what point is it that I received this
Um,
message?
this is probably about 15 minutes after you're sitting there trying to sober up. After Uriah has left you to be in your own thoughts, just sort of going somewhere. You don't know where exactly he went to. He just walked off.
Presumably, he is also a grown man.
But he just walked away. In about 15 minutes, you hear Kaushik's voice in your head.
Yeah.
I should have started it with boo.
I was like, that's weird. I'm just gonna think back. I just go to think back at in the direction of Kaushik, I assume. I don't know how magic works.
Oh, no, you just pull out your phone and you send.
Oh
it
yeah,
text.
that cell phone I've got. I will join you guys there eventually. Send. Ding.
All right, guys. Gandalf says he will join us here eventually.
Yeah, that seems like a thing that Gandalf would say.
Right. So.
Should
guess
we
we'll
load
carry
her? Should we load her outside their house, or I mean, they've been a family that's kind of been apart for a really long time. They're about to be going to like a strange airship. Yeah, just let them hang out for a little while.
All
I
right.
mean,
Just gonna hang
Milo
out
can
with
pout
this
inside, he can pout outside. He's versatile. Let's go.
Okay, so you guys are just gonna you're just gonna sort of loiter outside,
Yeah.
plants outside waiting.
I guess I'll have Artyom give me a tour of his new plants.
Okay.
Tell me what they are, what they'll do.
This is a
Artyom-
hydrangea bush. It just looks nice, and
Ah,
I want
to
you to
replace the ones Billy.
can you
I
roll
guess,
a knowledge nature check for me, Artyom?
sure.
Okay.
This one is Deadly Nightshade.
He's just making this shit up. As he
Yeah,
goes
that's what I'm
along.
wondering right now. Because the mode
By
of
his face, I think he's making
15.
the mode of
figure that could
That could
selection.
be worse.
15.
Okay.
Well, I was like, yeah, of course, he's a druid. He's got herbalist kit, but he does not have knowledge nature. So maybe he's just like, yeah, the green ones are for the stuff.
I mean, the mode of selection was just random, so I wanted to make sure. But with a 15, you know some of them.
Yeah.
This one is green. It is green. That is its thing.
Aha, they're plants.
You know, like an
Thanks for the
orange is an
explanation.
orange. Well, this one is just the green. Okay.
He out here making his own names for them.
This one's John.
This is a blood tulip. It's just a tulip. It's red. I figured it'd sound more interesting like this.
Indeed, it does.
Are there any conversations you guys would like to have outside of
You only
Well,
got
really-
2 plants?
About halfway through this conversation, Neela comes out and says, Are we ready to go?
Oh, we were just waiting on gambling and letting you guys have a family time.
Okay. Shuts the door back.
Oh, she made that really awkward.
Was the door creaky, Jones?
I mean, we're the ones standing outside. We're the ones standing outside.
Like,
I think
kinda
it'd be very
creeping.
hard to be restful with us outside of the house.
Hey, we just delivered their daughter like from 500 miles away or some crazy shit and stopped her from being diseased by an otherworldly kind of I don't know, affliction. She should probably feel the most comfortable with us loitering outside of her house.
I don't think that's quite how that works.
Well, it should.
I'd feel comfortable with you if you saved my daughter, Artyom.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Milo interrupts his pouting to think that one over. Like, what?
Social grace
Oh,
is
that's
lost
kind
on
of sad,
Artyom.
Crowley. Oh no. We don't know it's sad, but I know it's sad.
Crowley is just sitting there, just like tapping on his shoulder, not really, still sober face.
Is your face anything but sober with your mask?
Usually he's happy.
Is it just like
Oh,
a straight
no,
line?
we've
Just
switched masks.
It is. It is.
God, that's
Very
so
somber.
fucking
There's
creepy.
just no mouth whatsoever. It's just eyes.
That's creepy as hell.
Oh no.
I don't like that at all.
Writes
Milo's
down
still
make new
crying.
mask.
Milo, are you still being a whiny baby?
Oh yeah.
Does anyone notice?
I mean, it's not like you can see him being all like sad face because he's got his faceplate down, so he's just
Yeah,
Uh,
But are his
quiet.
shoulders drooping? Is he like, sitting in a corner in the shadow? Like, I don't know. Very typical. Bastard.
Milo, you've been wearing it on your sleeve pretty handedly the last episode, so I'm gonna say the armor's slouched, and you're like you with the
They're
helmet
just
over your
leaking
face
out.
is like the equivalent of sunglasses at night. Like that's what you're doing right now.
Oh yeah. I fully expected Kaushik to be like,
Just
Tink, you good in there, buddy?
see tears just leaking out of the faceplate.
Crowley's like starts strumming his.
he's drowning in his helmet.
You hear burble, 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 burble.
Crowley's playing his instrument. I wear my sunglasses at night.
sunglasses.
You're not sure if he's sad or not, but every time you look at him, the background music in your head changes to be sad music.
There's just this weird just in the background.
Is Bill around?
You're not sure if he's sad, but he is bawling at the moment.
Just whale songs, just echoing inside the helmet.
All right.
Oh no.
Koshik, are you gonna try to engage Milo?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him to check out, since he does like mechanic-y stuff. I'm gonna try to get him to check out the puzzle that I got for Lydia, since it's like one of the like kind of like mind. I can't remember what those are called. The brain teaser puzzles.
Right.
So they gotta turn like gears. So I'm gonna. Milo, I wanted you to check out this puzzle that I got for Lydia. I know you were with me whenever I bought it, but I didn't know if you got a close look at it. Oh gosh.
Sure.
What?
Sure.
Oh, all right. Is your throat feeling okay, Milo? You're not still feeling ill, are you?
Just headache.
I'm sorry. I can try to make you some.
Not even gonna roll for it.
I can try to make you something for that. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna hand him the toy, and I'm gonna pull out my herbalism kit. And I know it's complete bullshit, but I don't know if Koshik knows it's complete bullshit, so she's gonna start making some Tylenol.
Okay.
Making some Tylenol.
Just right
Not
here.
a sponsor.
Right here in front of the Solomon home. With a bunch of plants.
It's a mortar and pestle and a couple plants. It's
Just
not
cranking up some BC powder real quick.
Yeah. All right, give me a medicine check.
17 on my roll. Do I add anything to it?
Yes, that would be your proficiency plus your wisdom.
Okay.
She says, "You're too sad. I'm gonna get you some opium. Let's go."
28.
28.
Real good. Just snort this, Milo.
28. I made some Tylenol. Extra strength.
You just chuck it into his mask.
That was a good roll for something that's gonna be completely fucking useless.
You put this man between a rock and a hard place. What is it, like a is it do you make me a Tylenol edible, or is this a tea? What we got?
It's a cold tea. It's a juice.
Tylenol cookies.
A salve. It's a tongue salve. You just.
The sublingual Tylenol.
What?
When he lifts his faceplate up he's like got the red puffy eyes as he goes to eat the sublingual Tylenol.
With a 28, does it at least taste good, Jones?
No, it tastes terrible, just like headache medicine does.
Not all of them do.
It's incredible.
Flavored.
Yeah, no, this is like BC powder. It's incredibly
Advil.
bitter, but incredibly flavored, but incredibly potent. So it works for the headache that you don't have.
In a roundabout
Does it
kind
cure
of
his
way.
depression?
No.
In a roundabout kind of way, it helps because it is so bad tasting that it distracts him momentarily from his poutiness.
Just doing my
It's
job.
like, oh God, thank you, Koshik.
Sorry about that. At least it'll work, huh? Anyway, this. Oh my god. Anyway, does the puzzle seem interesting to you? Do you think Lydia will like it?
Yeah. Let's see. What do I roll to solve it, or?
Sure, just roll an intelligence check for me.
Sounds good. That is an 18 plus 3.
I was really hoping for a natural 1.
That would have been.
That's why I was like, please be fucking high. I'm gonna feel so fucking bad if you can't solve it.
I can't solve it.
Let's make him feel worse.
Echoing sobs from inside the helmet.
the armor just collapses forward.
Milo, with a lazy, sort of just dejected finger, as you sort of go through these simple math equations that Lydia would be able to feel the numbers and solve, and you just sort of go through unlocking the circles one by one, get to the top one, and hand the top one to Koshik.
That was so fast. I've been working on this the whole way back, and the whole time we were here.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Glad at least someone can solve it. That gives me hope for Lydia.
Here, let me get that put back together for you.
All right.
Smashes. it
Yeah,
on the
no, I'm not
ground.
gonna make you roll. I thought you were rolling again. I was like,
Nat
I'm not
one.
gonna make you, but if you roll again,
Breaks it.
Ow.
No.
No. Without issue, you put it back together, spin the circles a couple of times to get them back in random order, and it is all set, ready to go.
Awesome.
Y'all are just hanging out outside these people's
I
house.
think
Yeah,
she'll
sure.
enjoy it.
You're sure you're okay, Milo?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. And then I turn
Yeah.
around and walk away.
When you say that, I was like,
Yeah.
Can I roll a perception check to see if I notice Milo's puffy eyes?
I'd say with your passive perception, yeah, you're right there with him.
he's not exactly a rogue over here.
Sure.
He's also the tallest one in the party, towering over everyone, including yourself. He's the next one up, so you're like right there.
So fucked up.
I'm gonna kind of scooch on over to Milo. So, just kind of say it on the other. So, you are.
But
good,
before
right?
you do that, RTM, I just want to remind you guys, make sure you are speaking louder, even if you are trying to mimic whispering, because all this white noise in the background that we can't figure out. So,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's
so
it's not y'all.
You are feeling okay, right? I noticed you had some puffy eyes there, and eye goop and all that. Like you're good, right?
I'm not sick. I just that should have worked.
The headband thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're working on it for a couple of days, right? I mean, I kind of. It's not hard to figure out what it was supposed to do. So what? You're a genius inventor, Milo. You can fly and shoot fire out of your hands. You didn't solve blindness in 2 days.
So I can make weapons that blow things up and help you fight, but I can't make something that'll help someone actually live a better life.
You had 2 days. Unless she didn't have legs, you could have her fly. It's a pretty big deal. And you can always try again if it's that big of a deal to you.
I need to do better, but thank you, Archie.
Well, it's not about
Actually-
doing better. You just need more time. I'll help you with it if you need. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I can help you with it.
Give him a flower.
The legs comment actually seems to cheer him up a little bit because he hadn't thought of that.
Can I hear this conversation, or are you guys whispering?
No, you guys, unfortunately, you're all right there in front of Lydia's home. It's a small space. You're not going anywhere, and all of you are perceptive enough to.
I don't know if they like walked off or whatever.
Let's take turns telling Milo to stop being a bitch.
Hit him with that, and I walk away.
Why does James keep just expanding out of his box?
I don't know. I have it.
You can't contain me.
That's
His
just who
head
he is
is
as
too
a person.
powerful.
His beard
up,
just
bitch.
starts shooting off screen.
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried fixing it a couple of times now, but it's not working.
Oh god.
So Gorham's gonna pop in to this conversation.
Oh, you popped in. All right. Sorry, as soon as you said that, man, your camera went bloop, like expanded out. But go ahead, continue.
Oh,
I am so
God.
sorry. Continue.
Oh god. Wait, I just don't have enough. I can do it.
God damn it.
Flexing.
What you tried to do, Milo, was a good and admirable thing. So what if it didn't work? You can try again, I'm sure. Keep working at it. Tomorrow's another day. But what you try to do was good.
Thank you.
I don't know what to say.
I'll probably be fine. I'm just tired. I need a nap.
Yeah, just a nap.
He's got dark circles the size of baseballs under his eyes right now.
You
I
need to
mean-
go to sleep.
Like our team said, perhaps you'll have more time to do it now.
Right, if we're gonna be hanging out in town trying to figure out the entire cabal of child snatchers that could be right here, then you'll have lots of other times to work on that. See, did anybody talk to Erish if we're going to be here for another few days?
Well, I can't talk to him.
Yeah, same.
Yell really loud. Maybe
Yo,
they'll hear you.
Tasha, can you tell Erish that we're going to be dealing with some child snatch? I mean, I guess it's not really too surprising. It's kind of what we do.
Absolutely. How long do you want me to let him know we're going to be here? A few days, a week. What's
I
the-
feel like probably with Arthur putting a day on it's just going to make us have to call him again. We'll just say we'll call you back when we get near, and you can tell us where you are.
That is what I said last time, but I think it would be good to keep him updated, so I
Oh,
will
all right.
absolutely do that. Give me 5 minutes.
Sure.
5 minutes. Do, do, do. His music is just so chill.
For
I
now.
do have to say, Melgrim, I really hope we find these people. I've been daydreaming a lot about seeing you use that sword on some asshole. Just, I mean, I've seen people get set on fire, but I haven't seen like anyone get stabbed with fire. Like, how does that happen? This going to be great.
Although, I don't know, but we'll find out for sure.
Together.
I mean, like, can you even heal that? Because like the fire would like burn the wound, so it's just yep, you just got to hold there forever. Sorry, buddy. I mean, if you're going to kill them, right? So it's not going to matter for too long. But if they did manage to like run away or turn invisible and flee or something,
I don't know.
just one of those
They-
like things you think about when looking up at the stars.
Sure. Yeah. Mhm.
Like a exhausted kind of voice. Miles like,
Well, and if we find them, hey, those weapons of war I make will be fun to use. That's one
Yeah.
way I can help orphans, I guess.
It's true. I mean, in that last big fight we had, we might have all died if you didn't help us out.
Yeah, and I frankly don't want to die again
Yeah,
anytime
sorry.
soon.
That was kind of insensitive. But yeah, I don't want you to die either.
It's
Me?
yeah.
All right, I'm ready to send my message to Erish now.
Perhaps got a little too cocky in my abilities.
I'm just going to say, hope you're well. We're in New Kyrie dealing with a bit of business. We'll probably be here a few days. I'll keep you updated. Text sent to Erish.
Okay.
He should know my voice by now.
Couple of moments later, you say, you hear back in your head. Very well. Should I make my way south then? Don't worry about it. Let me know when you are closer. I can make my way. Give me at least 48 hours heads up if you can. Be safe.
Aww.
Right. Erish, I would like about 48 hours heads up as soon as we are headed closer. Just let me know and I will let him know. Artyom.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about the sword thing again. It's just interesting.
All right. Carry
if
on.
we're still posted up outside in front of the house, Milo's gonna kind of like lean against the wall, slide down it. Take a
Milo, you don't get to slide very far. This is a very humble home, and your armor, when you lean against this wall, you feel it buckle a little bit. It's probably best you don't do that.
point is he's taking
Oh
a cat.
no.
That's incredible.
Oh no.
As-
He's gonna
as-
destroy the home and feel even worse.
as Koshik's medicine takes a hold, you can absolutely catnap.
Oh, it's Tylenol PM, huh?
With a 28, it is. Okay.
Okashi could got any more of them Tylenol brownies.
Gandolin, as you sort of sober up enough, standing up in the temple, stretching out, making your way out and about. Where are you heading to? Are you heading back to the market, or are you confident enough that Abet's tour was so good that if you head down the other side of the street that you'll be able to find
I'll be
Lydia's house?
trying to make my way back to Lydia's house.
Okay.
Like, well, that looks like the right way.
So you drank how much? All right, I want you to be very real, and I'm gonna put this in your hands here. You were drinking strong drinks in the market earlier today, and quite a few of them. Do you think Gandolin is fully sober now?
Let's see. It had been about 15 minutes after the discussion when I received the message from Koshik. About how long since then has it been?
It's probably been another 30 or 45 minutes before it's getting dark outside and you think you need to make your way there.
Getting that way. Not full on. I would have, because I was drinking, I went and I wandered around the market for a bit, made purchase of my arrows, went all the way to the temple, and it's been about an hour since then, so.
Correct.
What would you call that, like 3 hours? 2.5?
Mm-hmm.
It would depend on how much time. So, not sober, but
not sober.
Working on it.
Okay. All right. In that case, I would like you to make me a perception check at disadvantage, please.
Hell yes. Wow, 14 and 15. Let's see what that totals out to. I can't remember. 19.
19. Okay. Very nice. I'm gonna take a picture and send that to you.
Wait, what? Uh-oh.
Let's see. Okay.
I'm about to get mugged.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah, let's go!
Gandolin.
Release pent up rage on other people. Fireworks.
There you go. That's in the Hard Knock Dice chat for you. Gandolin, as you were sitting, walking out of this, little temple here. I'm sorry, I'm also getting used to the music.
Uh-oh.
You have someone come up, maybe Uriah again, sort of come up and sort of help you start walking for a second, like just arm up under yours, and you hear a voice, "Hey, you look like you're stumbling there, pal. Maybe you could use some help." And as they sort of hold your wrist and hold your arm up a little bit as if they were trying to stabilize you, another one comes up to your right and does the same thing with your right arm and says, yes, we could help you out. We could help you out.
I was homeless on the streets of Atur. Can I infer that this is not good?
Roll an insight check. Disadvantage.
No.
Yes.
Okay, that could be worse. That could be worse. That's a 17.
Stacy said
disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled a 12 and an 18.
Okay. So
with disadvantage, 17.
What was it?
17.
No,
they roll another nat 20.
I'm sending it to you.
Oh, Stacy doesn't have
these guys
music
seem
apparently.
really
Stacey.
Nice. What kind fellows?
Stacy doesn't have music. It's probably just very quiet. And I will look into that because we will need it for this.
Fine. It needs to be a little more intense, I think. Anyway. Oh no.
Oh no, I didn't add the
Ian.
I didn't add the music to this one. That's why you can't hear it.
Kong, baby, let's go.
Ian's fine. Oh, Gandalf.
It's on like Donkey Kong. Let's go. I want to hit something.
There you go. You should hear the music now. Okay.
Oh god.
These guys are smooth criminals.
These guys,
Apparently.
they are
Holy shit.
on. They have rehearsed and they are on it tonight. Apparently.
Apparently. Okay, so like, yes,
Yes, we could. You look like you could use some help. Even with that insight check, though, this situation becomes very apparent that they are not trying to be helpful, as the two grips on your wrist become very tight. You feel a third person up with a dagger to your back, and then stepping around the fence in front of you, someone with like a small crossbow in their hand, sort of rusted, haphazard crossbow, steps around the corner, and we are going to
Wonderful.
Snatch arrows with teeth.
I'm about
Puts
to
you
say,
right there.
I want to donkey kick the guy standing behind me with the dagger. That is my immediate reaction.
Oh no!
If you daddy donkey kick him, you gotta bray like a donkey. You gotta hee haw. You can't.
Yeehaw! Bow!
The
Wow,
hee
you
haw
did
gives you
not-
strength.
You did not make it far at all outside of that place,
No.
my guy.
No, he didn't.
Ah, my friends.
See, you're a man of the cloth. Well, that's my cloth now.
Okay.
Gods, let their displeasure be known.
As we move into a little bit of fight music, Gainwin, I would like you to roll initiative.
Fuck. That's a 10.
That's a natural 1. What?
Good.
I turned the music up. Let's get it.
These
Again,
street
let's
thugs
get it.
say they operate in a world of extremes. 20s and 1s. Just flip coins for the rest of the fight.
Okay, Gainwin, you will be going first of the four of these bandits right in front of you.
Fantastic.
What
Fuck
would
him
you
up,
like to do?
Ganowin.
Do what?
Here
What
he
would you
is.
like to
that you
do?
said that am I grappled effectively?
Yes,
by them?
you are grappled effectively with that insight check, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine. I guess I'm initially going to. No, you know what? I'm going with what I said before. I'm donkey kicking the dude behind me.
Okay, roll it.
I said it. I'm doing it. So let's see here. Shit, that's not very good. That's a whopping. A 15.
15 hits.
Oh, fantastic. For 8 points of magical bludgeoning damage, just like in the knee.
Oh God.
Say it,
Okay.
Ganowin. Say it. Hee haw.
As these guys come up and grapple you up, and your hand's not free at the moment, you feel that dagger in your back. Probably the most immediate threat. Your first strike, just reaching out behind you with this donkey kick, and you hear a loud crack behind you, and you just hear a scream, and the dagger sort of drop away from your spine for now. Yeah.
Let's see. I have 2 technically attacks as an attack action. Turn around. Is this dude with the crossbow really just standing right in front of me?
He is standing right in front of you, sort
Okay,
of.
a reverse stomp kick to now kick out at him instead.
Okay, just sort of
I
using
feel like
these
those two
guys
are
as
just holding on to me. Yeah.
okay,
Just,
using them as like
backing,
bungees.
Immediate, like using these guys are holding on to me as like leverage. Just lean backwards and stomp into him.
Okay, go ahead.
Today I learned Gandalf is a pendulum.
Yep. That one is a 17. which I assume-
17 hits.
Okay. That guy takes 10 points of magical bludgeoning damage.
Ouch. Okay. All right.
Jackie Chan.
I'm gonna burn a key point. I'm just gonna fucking headbutt. I'm just gonna, all 4.
All
people
4?
are catching- Yep.
I
one
like
on-
it. Go for it.
So first one's right with a 24
24 hits.
with the 8 points of magical bludgeoning to that guy.
Okay.
And
This
fuck it,
bro
I want
bringing
to
the pain
burn
with his
another key
noggin.
point and that's a stunning strike on the guy on my right.
What's your DC?
DC is I believe 13. Yeah.
Okay.
13.
We'll call it a +1 to their con. That's a natural 17 on the roll, though.
Okay.
So
that's fine.
he is
So
not
he's
stunned.
not stunned. Then like I said, turn around and hit the dude on my left.
Okay.
That one's not nearly as good. That's a 13 to hit.
13 misses, actually.
Okay. He had enough time after watching all his buddies get smacked.
After
That's fine.
seeing your pattern of kick to the back, kick to the front, headbutt to the right, he knows who's next. And seeing that headbutt coming and his
Oh, shit.
pal still holding on for dear life, he just backs up as your it's close as your head comes inches away from his nose and your hair just sort of brushes against his nose. He is currently wide-eyed.
Awesome. That's
right.
my turn.
Okay. Going in the order of top to bottom here. Actually, no, we're gonna go Guy with the crossbow is going to go first, and he's just going to loose the crossbow at your stomach.
I don't think I have to have a hand free. No, it does. It does. If you were to, I have to have a free hand, so never mind. I can't deflect missiles.
Okay. That is a 14 to hit.
That misses.
This crossbow
I just want to
has.
say this is the most Jackie Chan shit I have ever seen happen in a D&D game.
This crossbow has one direction that it is heading to. Unfortunately, I'm gonna roll another attack roll to see if it hits the one behind him. Behind you.
Fucking shoots his buddy. Oh
I
no!
repeat,
It does.
This is the most Jackie Chan shit I have ever seen in a D&D game.
And I rolled a 6. Gandolin, seeing this guy as the most obvious threat, you leap up with your both your hands down and put your hands on these guys' chest, or put your feet on these guys' chest standing up. The crossbow bolt sailing in between your legs and thudding into the guys behind you. You sort of look behind you. You just see an arrow in his chest. So he sort of looks up confused and falls over onto the street.
Oh shit, he killed his buddy!
Yeah, he did. I rolled max damage though. Okay.
You have to be the worst bandits I've ever seen. Wonderful.
He sits there and starts reloading.
I'm just gonna laugh at him. The guy laugh at him as a free action.
Sure.
I laugh at him as a free action.
These two coming in with like rusted daggers are gonna try to come in and try to cut your coin purse off of you.
Oh, they don't want the smoke. They can't outrun me.
That's
feels really good about beating the shit out of like refugees who are starving.
That's a 9 on the first one. And that's a 13 on the second one.
He grew up in the street. He knows how to fend off people.
Their supposed leader here with the crossbow, as a part of his group's actions here, are just gonna say, I'm gonna say this is gonna be a disadvantage. He's gonna try to intimidate you, but I'm gonna say it's a disadvantage considering he just killed his buddy.
Okay.
Is going to say, just give us your coin and we'll be off. With a 7 on his intimidation check, unfortunately.
What do I roll against that?
It would be, what's your passive insight? If it's higher than that, yeah.
Passive insight is a 15.
Okay.
Just actively laughing.
You can take these guys. So there's no reason. Yeah.
This is fucking rough. It's a bad night to be a bandit.
That is going to be the end of their turn, though.
Awesome.
Give us your money and we won't hurt you, he says. All of them like beat the fuck up already.
Give us your money and we won't kill any of our other guys.
We won't kill any more of our friends if you give us your money.
You see what I did to him? You're next.
Yeah, just one
That's
of the
what I
guys
thought
on
the
your left
intimidation
or
was
right.
gonna be.
Oh god. Okay. At this fuck it. I'm gonna use an action to break the grapple, I guess. Which
Okay.
I believe I can use acrobatics for, correct?
Yeah. Your acrobatics versus their
That's the-
athletics. It's going to be at advantage since there's 2 of them. So I'm just going to
Okay,
roll
that's
one
fine.
roll, and they are going to get a +3 to this roll. Okay.
Okay. They have to beat a 25.
It's a natural 20 on the
Okay.
first roll for a total of 23
Ah!
because you cannot critically succeed skill checks. So it doesn't matter if I roll with advantage if you rolled that high. Kicking off of their chest, since you are already standing up here, you sort of kick away from them. You are able to stay in that square, I'll say, with that high of a roll, or land in the square behind. Your choice. On top of their dead friend.
Nah, if I could, I would like to go here.
Sure, go for it.
Yep. Just whoop. Just standing next to the guy, and that cost my action, correct?
Correct.
I'm gonna dodge the bonus action and just stand right there.
Okay. Sort of getting in a martial stance, ready for the next attacks. They are going to return, this guy is going to come around here, having you break the grapple, is going to step around, looking at you again, looking up and down the streets really quickly. Gandalf, make a perception check for me.
Sure. That's a 15.
With a 15, you see a couple of the not the town's guard, which are very drab, but you see a couple of what seems to be the equivalent of the King's Watch down the street, probably about 120 feet or so away from you currently, just on foot currently with a lantern, halberds in hand, pretty much how you pick them out of this sort of darkish night. Is just sort of walking down the street.
You guys are fucked.
Seeing that the one behind you tries to grapple you again, is going to try to pull you down this alleyway.
Okay.
With a 21
To hit?
Well, it's
Does he make I can't remember, is it an attack roll to grapple, or does he have to, is it a post check?
we're going to make opposed checks here.
Oh, okay.
So athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
I rolled like dog shit for that one. It's only 15.
15. He grapples you up behind you, sort of flipping around, getting in your defensive stance. He reaches up under you, up under your arms, and starts pulling you backwards, and that's going to be his action and movement to sort of pull you back right here.
Word.
This one is going to move further back into the alleyway as well and take a swipe at you with his dagger.
I will note, they don't have a hold of my arms this time, right?
No. He sort of like pulled you by your waist.
Just making sure.
Yeah, at disadvantage because you did take the dodge action, and it's still a 17 to hit.
Still misses.
Still misses. All right, just sort of swiping wildly at you. Can't see because you're just like moving everywhere in these. This guy, having his crossbow reloaded, sort of looks at his friend and just goes like, and then shoots the bolt again.
Okay. Just still at disadvantage.
Right. I rolled the same roll twice. 18 plus 3 is 21.
So that will hit, but I am going to deflect missiles this time.
All right.
Which is, I recall, I just roll a D10 plus 13.
Okay. Wait, a D10 plus 13?
Yeah, because it's plus my dex plus my monk level.
And that has to be his damage, correct?
Correct. So I rolled a 20 of total of 20 damage.
Okay, he cannot do, even if you were to roll a 1, he could not do that much damage.
Fantastic.
Yeah, use your reaction.
I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna burn a key point to chuck it back at him.
Roll an attack roll.
18.
18 hits.
That's awesome. That's 11 points of magical piercing damage as he just takes the crossbow bolt immediately back at him.
Having your waist grappled around as he pulls you back into this alleyway, and you sort of sit there and you see this guy pulling up his crossbow, time sort of slowing down for half a second as you focus yourself, and he shoots the crossbow and just catching it out of the air. He goes, "Holy shit!" And that's his last words as you sail it back towards him, and he is down.
That's just not fair.
It is at this moment you sort of hear, "What's going on down there?" These guys are going to make a perception check. All right.
I'm about to get fucking arrested for getting mugged. Because they're really bad at it.
Well, these guys are failing a perception check on hearing that guard, unfortunately. So they're going to continue their onslaught. But it is your turn.
Oh, huzzah! Fucking elbow over the shoulder into this dude's face.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
I can't. It's not like
Nat 20.
I won't try to help myself out of this situation. I'm gonna make sure the guard comes around and just sees me standing over 4 dead bodies.
That's luckily for him, I rolled a 1 on a crit, so that's only 7 magical bludgeoning damage. My shoulder.
Unfortunately for him, it doesn't matter as you knock him on. Well, I will say this: would Gandalf be using lethal force? With these two that are crossed out right now, It does not matter if they were hit with arrows. There is no reason to do non-lethal. There's no way to do non-lethal force with an arrow, unfortunately. Actually, I'll roll back on that. I'm going to put it in your hands on where you hit this guy.
Oh, with dude with the crossbow bolt,
Yeah.
I was just yeeting that bitch.
Okay,
that was just pure like immediate return to sender. Like,
so we'll do a random roll then. High, it's a kill shot. Low, it's in the leg and incapacitating.
sure.
It's a 15. In the chest. He goes down.
Dead.
Gandalin loves lethal force. Come on, Gandalin.
I will say, I just rolled a quick wisdom thing. I got a 21 on that. So I'll say for these last two guys, as guards approach, it's like, may look a little better if I don't murder them. So
Okay.
I'm fucking trying to knock this dude behind me out.
In that case, you put this guy behind you to sleep with the
Fantastic.
elbow that hits. He did not have
Nice.
that much life left. However, this guy in front of you has not been touched yet.
Awesome. I'm just going to hit him 3 more times.
All right, go for it.
It was like another key point to make it, so it's 3 for flurry of blows.
All right,
First attack is a 10, so misses. I
10
assume.
misses. Yep.
Okay. The next one is a 24
24 hits.
for 8 points of magical bludgeoning. Last attack for a 12, which I assume also misses.
12 also misses.
Okay.
Wisdom check for this guy. They're not rolling well on their wisdom checks, unfortunately. With you no longer being grappled, I'm gonna make this an attack roll, and he is gonna go for your necklace.
Oh, word, he's gonna die. They only need 1 survivor.
That is a 15.
That misses.
Goes for your necklace. Sort of listening around. You hear the sort of feet getting closer of the guards down the street, looking around. He is going to try to run past you.
Okay.
Down the street, down the alley, or down the alleyway. It is an AOP, correct? Your reaction.
Wait.
It's cocked.
Hasn't he already used his reaction?
That's what I'm about to ask. You go
That
first.
was on hit. Well, I was top of the round, right?
Right. That's
So
what
he
I was
shot
saying.
at me, burned my reaction, came to the top of the round. Saw
Correct.
My reaction back. Yeah. This is a 26.
26 hits.
Slit his throat.
How much damage do you do?
He chops his head clean up.
9 points of magical bludgeoning, which if it doesn't put him down, I'm burning a key point for it to be a stunning strike.
Crush his trachea.
It does not quite put him down.
So, stunning strike.
Stunning
Roll.
strike. DC 13, right?
Did you
That's
roll
a-
a natural 20?
He rolled a natural 1.
Good.
You just stopped this man's heart.
As you turn around, I mean, and elbow him, he's still sort of bleeding from his nose at this point. You turn around with your elbow and hit him once in the spine, and he just locks up, and his momentum carrying him forward just falls over, locked onto the ground. The threat seemingly neutralized, at least from these.
Awesome.
These few. You hear go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, are we still staying in initiative?
Not at the moment.
Okay,
No.
because I just wanted to grab the dude I just stunned and just try to haul him and chuck him out into the street.
Okay. Well, you got 2 of them there, sort of at your feet, because this guy
Yeah.
didn't move.
One of them's not unconscious though.
Oh yeah. He
Yeah,
is
one
stunned.
that's not unconscious and just drag him, chuck him out into the
He's
street
th-
towards the approaching guards.
He's gonna fail that check because he is stunned. Yeah. And as they sort of move up to your position, we're gonna use yellow as stunned, I guess. That's fine. Move up to your position. Halberds out at this point, both sort of sticking down. What's going on here?
Just after Tasso just kind of point at him. It would appear you have a bit of a bandit problem. Muggers.
Looking at oh no, he's unconscious on the ground back here.
Yeah, there's an unconscious guy, dude stunned right in front of me. That one behind me is still alive. He is still alive. He actually shot his friend, like point at a crossbow guy and then point at the other dude who has a crossbow bolt on him. Like he actually accidentally shot his friend.
Did he
kinda
shoot
embarrassing,
himself
really.
as well?
No. He shot at me. I threw it back at him.
Go, shit. Go get some more people. He takes a couple of steps away from you. He's like,
Shrugging.
yeah, he doesn't want to be, if you decide to get violent with him, he doesn't want to be there. So he takes a couple of steps back from you. Well,
He may as well have shot himself, really.
this, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea what the sounds here. There's been some things going in town, so we've been keeping a close watch.
Heard.
What have you heard?
Usually I heard that they took kids, so I don't think I'm that short. But
Sort of sizes you up right there. Pretty burly guard, sort of tall. He says,
I shrug, like whatever. They did. These ones did seem to be after my purse, so. I just looked at it. Is that dude still stunned or is he just laying there?
right now he's sort of like sitting there shaking still at the moment. It seems like you put a good
That's
number
fair.
on him.
That's fair. But yeah. So, if I could leave, I'll just be about my business while you handle these scoundrels, as it were.
As
Good luck with that.
much as
Starting
I
to
would,
kinda,
please, listen. We need to ask you some questions as the guard comes back around the corner now of his friend. Some questions.
How many of them are there?
How many guards are there? Well, you see one person on a horse, not in guard gear, sort of in a light purple cloak, as coming around the corner, and a couple more guards, maybe 3 or 4, sort of on the flank, sort of jogging along behind. A smattering of town guards as well as some of the King's Guard as well. Coming around the corner, sort of expediently. If you were going to take off, it would be now would be the time. That's up to you though.
We saw business in this town. God damn it. Okay. It's like, maybe if you have questions to ask, please ask them. It is getting late.
Okay. Yes. It's getting. You've just killed 2 men.
I didn't kill that one. His buddy shot him on accident. Not my fault.
I am
And
sort of not believing.
they were trying to rob me and possibly kill me. I feel like it is well within my right to defend myself. In a 4 versus 1 scenario, lethal force is most definitely acceptable.
Surely, but you have to understand my confusion here. When he is holding the crossbow, his friend and himself both have arrows.
Do any
Councilman.
of them have bows?
Do what? No,
Do any of
they're
the town
carrying.
guard have bows?
They're carrying halberds. The guards that they're bringing up right now don't have bows on them. But as they come up, sort of interrupting this conversation, this guy, mostly confused more than anything, that this guy who has the crossbow has an arrow in him. He says, "But you have arrows on you. This is one of your arrows. But where's your bow?"
That is a crossbow. These are longbow arrows. Not the same.
He sort of picks them up to see if it went all the way
I also
through.
do not have a longbow on my person, if you will notice.
Councilman, and you see riding up on the horse, taking his cloak back, a familiar face to you, or somewhat familiar to you. You saw this person on stage with Prince Orgev himself earlier, sort of stepping down from his horse, going up to one of the dead bodies, hands behind his back, and kicks, sort of just kicking the dead body of the guy who was shot with the crossbow. Well, welcome to New Kyrie, I suppose.
Thank
I
guess.
I do have a few questions for you. You are so exasperated for just
Yes,
questions.
I got mugged, or they tried to mug me.
Is he okay? As he just sort of looks down at the convulsing guy on the ground.
I mean, he's not dead. I hit him a little bit. He'll be fine.
guard comes up and sort of puts manacles on the back of him.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, they try to put manacles on me. Oh, my God, that's not going to go well. Okay.
Puts manacles on the back of him. He's
The one behind me in the alleyway is also still alive, just sleeping a little bit.
sort of peeks behind you. You are here alone?
I mean, I did not think I had anybody following me until I ran into these gentlemen.
Very well. You're in town alone?
Ah! I have a few companions who are here on business.
Very well. It is probably best that you don't peruse the street at night alone. However, it does look like you can handle yourself. However,
it seemed to work out pretty well. And now you have 4 less people mugging people who are less capable. I did you a service, honestly.
we also have 2 dead people who were probably driven to do so out of desperation. So he sort of sizes you up, looking at your. I'm gonna give him an insight check.
Okay. Sure.
Sort of sizes you up real quick. He says, "You look as if you are no stranger to the streets, and I am sure you are not no angel to yourself." So,
I don't try to mug people on the streets, but sure.
never stolen, I'm sure. However, this, and he sort of turns back, talking to the guards. This is not a child. They are not trying to steal him. They are thieves. I don't know why you came and got me.
Oh,
Do what?
is that your horse? Oh God, they're here.
Well, there's various people traveling up and down. It's getting later at night, so you just have the random one here and there traveling. Very well. Use a little bit of discretion next time when you come and grab me from my home, please. As for you, I suppose stay out of trouble.
Sure.
You just smile at
A
him.
big smile, like, yeah. It's supposed to be reassuring.
What is your name?
Gandalin.
Gandalin, do you have a last name?
Rin. Yes.
Gandalin Rin, if we need any more information from you, I doubt we will, but in case we do, please be forthcoming. Where can we find you?
Of course. I don't know. I will have to find my friends. I don't know where we're staying for the night.
Yeah, why are you walking through the temple district this late at night?
I
It's
had
reeking of
questions,
beer.
okay?
Questions about what? The
Curses,
churches
do you
are
know anything
deserted.
About the curses? This is deserted.
Well,
There was a guy.
at this
There was
time
a,
at night.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, there was a guy in there and everything. Yeah.
Who did you talk to?
A gentleman named Uriah Zendel. He was just hanging out in there. He said he wasn't a priest, but he had like robes and stuff on.
Vassal Uriah Zendel.
I don't know who that is, but sure. That was the name he gave me.
He sort of turns his back away from you. The short cobble gate, sort of where you guys are talking, and the rest of the guard there, beckons towards one of the statues in front of the temple itself. You see the statue, and you see something that looks very, very much like the man you spoke to earlier. And at the bottom of the statue, sort of inscripted in the bottom, you see Vassal Uriah Zendel, 956 YK to 994 YK.
What year is it now? Like 96?
Correct.
How many years after?
994 is the year of the morning.
There we go. That's right. And we were 2 years after. Yeah.
Coming up on the 3rd. Yes.
So look at that go. Peter, you have a fraud in your midst then. I do not know.
Very well. I suppose we will get the fraud handled then. And he sort of
He's very sneaky. I didn't notice him at first. He was kind of sat up.
sort of
Weird guy.
waves his head towards a
Kind
couple
of-
of the guards who go into the temple itself.
Vaguely insulting. But yes. So we will be around, I imagine.
Around where? In
I
inn you're
found-
staying?
I don't know how many taverns you have. Do you have places to stay? Boarding house.
Yeah, we have a couple. You
Hey,
don't. You have not a rate. It is.
Hey,
How? Okay. This is not for me to judge how organized your group is or how organized you are. However, I will be able to contact you if I have any further questions. Grab these two, throw
Sure.
these two on a horse if you can. Bring them out. I know this one, and he sort of points the one back to the alley. We've had troubles from here before. Very well then. Be safe and sober up. Sort of stepping away, hops back on his horse and starts riding off.
Cranks that horse
Grabbing his
up.
Harley.
Okay. Now, are you just going to wander back to your friends?
I am going to do my best.
Make an investigation check for me. At this
Hell
point, with
yeah.
all of the physical activity, I would say that you have sobered up enough for it not to be a disadvantage.
Wonderful, and this is not negative anymore. That's a 14.
Okay. It takes you some time. You guys are sitting out of Lydia's house for sometimes it's getting kind of late at this point, 8 or 9 p.m. But you eventually do see Ganwin coming around the corner. Sort of the streets at this point are just dead quiet. It seems to be no one is moving. Everybody's turned in early. But you guys, unless you have anything else you want to do, you want to grab the family and head on to the airship, if I understand the plan correctly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right.
Sounds
Yeah, with
like
Crowley turning in at the tavern.
Man, did you guys
Okay.
know there are like thugs and stuff that will try to rob you when you're just like walking around?
Oh,
There are thugs everywhere.
Yeah.
Robbed?
that tracks a new.
They try to rob me.
Milo snores in response.
Did not go well. Your guards here, Crowley, are very judgmental of people defending themselves when being assaulted.
Did they see the fight happen?
I don't know. Not really. They were like coming down while they were trying to. I didn't even use sword or anything. I just hit them.
Well,
I
that's
did-
no
I-
different
I
from anywhere
want-
else.
Yeah, hey, I'm just saying. It's like there are thugs.
I'm,
You
s-
judge a man for using.
I'm sorry we're not in
semi-excessive force.
Carnathi where they would just throw you in prison.
They wouldn't necessarily throw you in prison. It is dependent
Yeah.
upon
I
situation.
am sorry to interrupt. It is getting a bit late. Are we ready to go now?
Indeed we are.
Yeah.
Should we leave the town first or just go like this?
How far on the outskirts are we again?
You are on
town?
you are on the edge of town. However, it is a like a fenced off town. There's a rather large log fence all the way around it, sort of separating itself.
And Crowley kind of looks around. I guess I'll roll perception, just see how many lights are around and stuff like that. You know, and get a good gauge. Okay.
What are you looking for exactly? Let me know.
I just want to see if there's any shadowy areas or if there looks like to be activity around the area. Oh god, there's a giant dinosaur flying from out of the town.
I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be taller than their house. It's going to be.
Yeah, no,
noticeable.
exactly. That's why I'm like, you could do this in a backyard, no problem. But
Carly, I'm not gonna make you roll for it. This is right now it's about 9 p.m. at night, and the streets are pretty much completely dead. Aside from someone looking outside of their homes, which if that's what you want to look for, we can make a roll.
Yeah.
But there doesn't seem to be anyone on the streets currently. Not an unfamiliar practice to you, as you know what tomorrow is.
true. I want to say I'm gonna look, kind of 17. Glance around. So I rolled a 14.
Yeah. You look around. It looks like everybody's asleep. getting ready for an early morning.
It's like, I think we can do this here. It's late enough.
Oh.
It is a busy day tomorrow.
Okie dokie. I will knock on Milo's visor.
Hey, yeah.
It's time
Tink,
to
tink.
go.
Oh, what's up?
Time to go.
Oh, yeah. One sec.
Like, gives himself a little bit of a shake.
All right, Mom and Dad, don't freak out. It's just me. I can shapeshift. It's completely safe. Just hold on tight.
I feel like
Okay.
that's not nearly as reassuring as you think it is.
Do you want me to carry your plants for you?
I can put them in my mouth with Lydia if you want.
Wait, can you carry all of us at once?
Just an offer.
I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to carry them, that'll be fine.
He can carry everybody but Milo.
Right.
Including the two parents?
Well, 1,200 pounds, considering everybody 200 pounds with their gear.
I
We got
mean, I
one-
don't even wear armor.
Right. I'm talking average across the board.
Okay.
So,
fair
but
enough.
because you do have dwarves with full plate that are just denser than normal human beings. It's
They're
canon.
just dead.
Who's got full plate? Not me.
That's a good point. We don't have anybody with full
One,
plate.
2, 3.
Dude.
4,
Either way,
5.
Crowley volunteered to stay
7.
behind anyway. So
Are you
I was
you
just
saying you're
saying.
not flying up with them?
no, I said that last week. I'm not going with them. I'm staying at the tavern.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know if you were flying to see them off for the night.
I trust Airbnb.
Okay. Milo, you will have to carry a person. One person.
Pick me, pick me.
Sure. Who's the smallest?
I
Gandalf.
hold up now.
Either Gandalf or
What do you mean, smallest?
I will carry either Gandalf or Kaushik.
Okay. Choose one.
Kaushik.
Okay. It's gonna
Go
take
to
Milo
backpack.
and Kaushik a little bit of extra time to get up there. RTM, before you shapeshift, Abet sort of brings Lydia in and says, "There's no need to put her in your mouth. I will hang on to her," and sort of just brings her in closer. This is. Oh, you've been taking care of her. Come on, Lydia, and sort of throws her up on her shoulder and
I
takes
just
her
like
back.
look vaguely and so like, yes, we have. Thank you.
Well, I mean, you know.
You've been doing a very
Coach,
good job.
She didn't
I
ride in
think-
the mouth on the way down.
That is comforting.
Kaushik's taken well care of Lydia.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and shapeshift and just be like, open the big beak, just kind of like, hey,
Pile in the plants.
somebody throw them in.
They take their luggage and throw it in your mouth.
Melgorm will throw in the plants like, oh, here you go, RTM. That's right, the plants.
Y'all are handling this much better than I would have expected. Very
But-
impressive.
Lydia seems to have given them a heads up on what to expect. Lydia, yes.
That's good. Good thinking.
After some conversations with Lydia and quite a bit of talking today, she has told them of all of your adventures so far, that she's been a part of. So, very well then. You all, with the exception of Crowley, take off towards the Amethyst Star. Making your way up there, no issues for the night. It's a fairly peaceful night, albeit a bit chilly. Making your way to the top of the airship, still floating there. Nothing seems to be out of order. Dropping them off. Who is staying here for the night? Is there anyone staying in town with Crowley for the night? What are going to be the sleeping arrangements?
Sleeping arrangement is yes.
I am going back to the sheep.
Well, everybody but Crowley is currently on the ship. I just don't know who's going to be sleeping on the ship
Somebody
and who will be
sleep at
sleeping
Crowley's
on
room.
the town.
Go. Take his
Yo, let's all sleep in Crowley's bed. Fuck
Yeah.
slumber party.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, God.
Slumber party, alright, let's go.
I'm staying on the ship.
I'm
Is anyone actually going down? Or is everyone staying on the
back
ship?
down.
Yeah, back down.
I mean, I will bring it up. Like, is it really the best idea to leave somebody back by themselves in the town?
I'll drop Quetzal form after some dumping out of luggage and people helping get stuff out of my mouth. Just gotta Well, yeah, I assume Crowley was wanting to stay there because I don't know his personal business or whatever, right?
I'm sure. But
So
Yeah, I mean,
if somebody wants to go back down, I mean, I can get them back down there, but yeah, it's it's whatever.
hey, that's
Crowley,
Sorry,
Crowley's responsible.
people
Well,
tried to steal Koshik like not that long ago.
By
Like
the time this conversation is happening, Milo is probably already asleep. The Kestrel with instructions to keep watch on the airship overnight, and a drone with instructions to keep watch over Lydia and her parents.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We as you're sort of sitting here debating this, Neela speaks up. We would still like to go down in the morning, earlier in the morning if possible. If this is doable.
Yeah, sure, that is fine. Just tell me or the dinosaur, and reveals the dinosaur. He can talk. It's okay.
his name is Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
he is very crude, unfortunately. But
Bill
nice.
is.
Don't give him any alcohol.
I don't
Yes,
have
will
any
do.
on me, so that won't be a problem. I thought you said Bill was just another member. Lydia sort of shrugs. He is.
Can she tell the difference?
I'm pretty sure she was told that Bill was a dinosaur, but she just told them that he was another member.
That's awesome.
She's not wrong.
Well, low key, she's actually enjoying her parents' shock. She's like, ha ha ha.
Devious little child.
You can fly us down again in the morning, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a big deal at all.
Okay. All right. And Abet speaks up. Very well. I will need to get down as well. As far as our meeting, I don't need to. I don't need to stay up here for too long. I actually, if it is not too much trouble, like to be taken back down in the morning as well, and you won't have to worry about bringing me back up tomorrow.
All right, that is fine.
Very well. Where will we be sleeping for tonight?
You can sleep wherever you want. It's fine.
What do we have? We now.
I
have two
suppose
of
the question was where is a bed?
Oh, they're down below deck.
I mean,
The other decks. You can sleep up here if you want. That's where I sleep. Me and Bill. We sleep up here. Where the planes are.
I was like looking at 1, 2, 3. I mean, Corelli is down below. He has the largest room, so you could sleep in his room for the night. We have a couple smaller rooms, one of which Lydia was staying in, and one that has nobody in it. So if you would prefer to,
It's just fine. We'll stay in Lydia's bed.
it's oh,
We've stayed close before. It's fine. As you guys are sort of having this conversation, Kaushik and Artyom, your eyes sort of look up, and sort of in the darkness of the ship coming up from below deck, you see a Bill looking from the shadows, and Kaushik, you look at him, and he backs down the stairs away
Jonesy,
from
this music is so scary. It's so funny. Poor Bill.
this is what Bill hears in his head when
I
he
feel
sees
so bad.
Gothic.
Backstone.
You feel bad.
Again,
Artyom
natural 20
feels it.
deception versus natural 1 insight. This is what it gets you. It gets you terrified, Bill.
Did Artyom he brought his plants back up, right? He
Yeah,
brought
they're
his-
just kind of on the deck right now.
I'm gonna kind of motion to Bill, and I'm gonna be like, Bill, come check out the new plants that Artyom bought.
Bill disappears completely into the shadows, and you hear no just echo out from below deck, and just large dinosaur steps down below deck.
All right then. Maybe in the morning.
I thought Bill liked.
Not maybe in the morning.
Well, you know,
What'd you do
Bill-
to Bill?
Bill's got an understanding about not messing with plants on the ship.
Aye, why is Bill so afraid of you, Koshik?
It's respect. It's
Why?
that's all. It's just
Why is
respect.
That
Bill
was
so
not
afraid
respect,
of me,
that was
Artem?
fear.
It's she's a very powerful and dangerous woman, is all.
He's not
You
wrong.
see.
Gonna go get these plants in some soil.
Koshik, did you threaten him about plants?
I
you
didn't threaten
say
him
to him?
about anything.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. That's big doubt, like, like, okay.
You know exactly who's at fault for this, I say as I look at Artyom.
He was
soft-
very afraid of you, not Artyom.
It's a scary, scary lady with lots of power. She even scares me sometimes, and
He'll have to keep that in mind, I guess. That it's,
Good.
use Bill's fear of Koshik.
Oh, you have a journal now.
Mental note.
you can write.
I do not have paper is expensive. You understand? I do not have actual journal. It is for
Oh,
remembering.
Paper's expensive. Aye.
Yes. Though I have a lot more money than I've ever had
Yes,
previously in my life. Perhaps
exactly.
I could invest in such a thing.
We have an early morning, so
Yes.
we will find the bed
Right.
ourselves and start
Oh.
making their way towards the
I thought
hotel.
somebody already let them down. Oh no, I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna take them down.
Okay. All right.
I know that you guys said you'd stay in the room Lydia was in, but it's very small. Are you sure you don't want to stay in Crowley's larger room? He's not going to be up here tonight. It's a huge bed, and I think it'd be a lot more comfortable if the three of you were staying all together.
I'll just add it. We didn't ask him or anything, but he's totally cool with
We
it.
don't need to ask him.
He's not here.
He's not here.
I mean, if it is not a imposition, I suppose.
Shouldn't be a problem at all.
I don't-
Which
I don't
Which
even know if
door
he's
is this?
religious.
I don't know what that
What?
word- What does imposition
What?
mean?
I don't.
I am going to bed.
I'm gonna look just as confused as everyone else.
I'm gonna lead them into Crowley's. I'm gonna usher him into Crowley's room.
Kaushik, you go to lead them into Crowley's room. Crowley's room is locked.
You might
Can
have something
I
you can do with that.
Karate chop the door down.
You can do how you want to do. It is locked
Do
though.
I see her like rattle the door?
And I'm like,
Yes.
no problem at all. Kicks the door down.
I like, oh,
Hold on,
It
you
is
can go
locked.
on,
I
Philip. Just fix
pulls
it.
out lock picks. Like, 1 second. I would like to unlock the door.
Okay, make a thieves tools check.
Fantastic.
Lock his door.
That's very strange. That's a 21.
Candlein, as if he had the key himself, goes up and just unlocks the door into Crowley's room.
Easy enough. Okay, I'm going to sleep.
As you open the doors, the candles to the room, as all of the candles on this sort of glow with a little bit of magical energy, lighting the area for you. Thank you again. We appreciate your kindness and your dexterity, I suppose, as she looks to you, Candlewind.
They called me the keymaster. Do not worry.
This is a bit
I'd like to
concerning.
mention they have creepy masks staring at them too.
Oh my god.
It's not a comfortable room. It's very over the top with red and gold and decorated in yeah.
Just turn it. If you just put out all candles, this is like normal room. Darkness.
Do all of these doors have locks on them? And I just walk off and go see if there's a lock to
Yes.
my room.
There is.
Cool. Alright, well, you guys sleep well. I am going to bed.
Good night.
Right, come on.
Lydia, before you go to sleep, I got something for you. You probably won't be playing with it tonight as it is getting late, but here, it's a puzzle.
Sort of.
You should be able to feel the indented numbers, and you just you'll turn it until there's in a certain code. I'm not exactly sure. It's a brain teaser puzzle. I'm not exactly sure what order the code should be in, but once you get it turned, it will unlock.
sort of feeling out and taking it from you and sort of feeling across the surfaces of it. Thank you. Yeah. And her mother sort of lifting it from her hands as well in the morning. Thank you indeed. Good night, all. We have an early morning, and they take their leave.
Sleep on everyone. Closes the door.
Okay.
Nice.
Is there anything else anybody would like to do for the night?
I imagine they close the door and it just locks into place, and frickin' puzzles start rearranging.
Don't you
Probably gonna
freaking.
snore a little bit. I might roll over at some point. Maybe drool.
It's fair.
Yes.
It
What?
is a
Did
much
I make
needed
him
rest.
Benadryl?
Yeah. It helps put him to sleep for sure, but he has been awake for 2 days.
She's out here with the cure all. It does everything.
He's got Neosporin.
Before we make our way to our break, all of you go to bed for the night. Crowley, you make your way back to the inn. Nobody is here, save for the lone barkeep, sort of waving you in, sort of just giving you a nod as you show him, flash your key, and go upstairs to your room, unless there's anything else you would like to do.
It's going to be a night of adventure. No, I go to bed.
Okay. You all sort of make your way to your rooms, falling or up top deck in the garden with Bill, as Bill waits until Kaushik goes into her room and locks the door behind her before he makes his way to the top of the deck with you, Artyom. As all of you drift to sleep for the night, different dreams come to all of you. Dreams of loss seem to be the general motif. Gandwin, your parents, Milo, old family members, a grandmother here and there, Kaushik, faceless parents that you can't seem to put a face to, Melgrim, your father, your mother faces, Gorum, a great grandfather, and a mentor that has sort of coached you in the ways of Hammer of Vengeance and sort of the tenets of that. Artyom, coming to your mind is more flashes of this familiar dark-skinned face, familiar in a way that you can't really put your thumb on. You don't have a name for, but her face just kind of keeps flashing, and that vision keeps flashing to you. Dark skin, braided black hair, lavender eyes, just sort of keeps flashing to you over the night. Crowley, as you're sort of sitting here, a familiar sitting here falling asleep and dreaming away, a familiar dream comes to you, a recurring dream, in a sense. Very familiar flashes of a previous life where you haven't always been this masked man. You haven't always been Crowley, as you sort of sit here playing with your young daughter again, eyes moving over to a wife. That image is drifted to ashes and a new one appears, and you are now sitting next to an older girl, maybe early teens, an older woman across from you, sort of bringing in, just based off of the lines across her face and sort of the laugh marks that come with age. And you're sitting behind this slightly older girl in front of you, as you sort of sit there, finger on your chin, as she's also doing the same thing in sort of a like a lovingly mimicking way, with an abacus in front of her. She's just sort of moving things back and forth. And then all of a sudden, as you go and you take her hand and you move some pieces of the abacus, and she's helping her solve some sort of problem with schooling or so, holding her hand, the drifting starts happening again, to ash, crumbling one by one. This memory seems to be being wiped away again, until she is gone. The table in front of you is gone. The woman in the kitchen is gone. The house around you is gone. Again, surrounded by nothing but dead gray mist and ash at your feet. You sort of sit there and collapse to your knees, Just wind blowing all around you. Sitting there, another a changed man. You hear some voices start to just echo through your head. We can help. We can make it stop. We can help. We're here to help. You, us. Sort of these swirling voices going around in your mind, seemingly all surrounding you in this very moment. And as this is happening, some of the dust in front of you blows away down onto the ground, keeps blowing, and eventually revealed a smooth white mask is sort of implanted there in the ash. And that is where we're going to go to our break. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We're gonna go get a break and get some drinks and stuff like that. Don't go anywhere. We will be back very soon. Yeah, much love. Drop a follow if you haven't yet. We'll be back about 15 minutes. Hi guys, don't go anywhere. And hello everyone, we are back. For the uninitiated, we are Hard Knock Dice, and this is our Eberron campaign. These people around me are our heroes, and we left off with a series of dreams that seem to affect everybody here for the time being. Dreams of loss, and specifically Crowley getting some familiar imagery brought back to him from earlier in the campaign. However, the next morning, everybody wakes up pretty early, as requested by Neela and Abet, as they wanted to get back down to the ground fairly early. Crowley, we'll start off with you though, since you are already on the ground. You are awakened by the sounds of bells outside. Instantly snapping your eyes open, getting ready for the day. Communing with the spirits as you normally would. Particularly strong response today. I will say that you get to choose your dice today. Instead of rolling. As you hear these bells and you know what day it is, it has been 3 years now since everything was ripped away from Crowley. It is a cold winter morning, sort of bells outside, signifying the time. You walk outside and you, the tavern completely empty. You see some people gathering in the streets, all in their morning wear. For those that can afford it, for those that cannot, are in simple streetwear, in muted colors of the sort. These bells just sort of going off, chiming the time. It is very early in the morning, probably 6:30, 7 o'clock, a normal time for Crowley to wake up. But as you're just sort of, go ahead. Well, actually, they're going to be going outside of the gates. You see a pretty much a max exodus of this. Max X. You see a big exodus of the city, of people just sort of not in any sort of particular rush, but making their way outside of the gates. I'm sorry, Crawley. Give me 1 second. For some reason, we're not capturing your audio. I don't know. I don't know why. You should be able to hear him now, Stacy. Crawley, if you wouldn't mind describing your character again as you step out, as no one on the stream heard it. Unfortunately, you should be able to hear it now.
Yeah, with a puff of cool air. Oh, just the music. Wow. Okay. Anyway, yeah, with a puff of air, he just he pulls the cloak around himself, trying to keep warm as he pulls back the hood of his cloak, and yeah, I'm kind of just looking at the stream, trying to see if everything's better now.
Okay, yeah, Stacy, you should be able to hear everything now. We should be good to go. You should hear me speaking regardless. And I see the mics lighting up for Crowley as well. So,
okay.
Perfect. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. As I said before, he removes his mask, and then the glimmer cloth beneath it, revealing a scruffy, a kind of worn, weary-eyed looking man. His eyes sunken, his face definitely not shaved recently. Salt and pepper hair, kind of scraggly, but cut down. And he's going to kind of just run his hand through his hair and look around. His eyes, of course, are actually a kind of like an emerald green, and he's going to look around before following the mass group of people. Just another human in the crowd.
Very well. Blending. Go ahead.
Tan skin, sun tan skin.
Okay.
There you go.
Blending in perfectly amongst this crowd. Like I said, everybody, if not in their morning wear, the people that can afford it, in very muted regular street clothes, if this is all they can afford. Those aboard the ship, you're waking up. Abet, Neela, and Lydia are all already. They have left their bags here currently. You see Lydia in a sort of a small black dress herself, just like little poofs out, along with some sort of hood sort of attached to the dress. Neela in something very similar. Abet seems to be going against the grain here, not black clothing, just sort of muted street clothes. As he sort of steps out, and everybody waking up. You all went to bed fairly early last night without any sort of revelry. So getting up, Abet says, we are ready to go.
Yeah, Artyom would have put on some of his clothes that he got the night before to wear, and probably be like, oh, shit, when he sees that people are wearing black. But for the first time, he's wearing a shirt and has a vest on over his studded leather armor.
Oh my.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you trying to mimic? Are you going back and going to try to mimic some of the dark muted colors or anything like that, Artyom?
No, he didn't get any of those colors.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
He looking like a tropical bird.
Okay. Is your AC still on?
Oh shit!
It
Sure is.
All right.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
go ahead and roll portents real quick.
Go for it.
We got a 2
Nice.
and an 18.
Nice.
Bet.
Good
Bet.
range.
Very nice.
No
Awesome.
10s again today, thank God.
Before we leave, I would like to deposit, of course, ask if I can deposit my longbow and a quiver of 20 arrows into Kaushik's bag of holding. You could hold these. Apparently, ranged weaponry makes people nervous, but just in case to have if you need it.
The squeak was real right there.
It's very squeaky.
Sorry.
Maximum squeak.
My God.
Jones, I kind of
Sharp,
want
you
to
look so sharp.
top on. I'm definitely wearing different clothes than usual, like formal wear, like even more formal than usual.
Okay.
You're wearing a tux.
I'm gonna pull out my black cloak for the occasion.
Milo looks down at his black armor, just nods like yes.
I don't really have any other clothes. So,
You were in fairly muted streetwear.
yeah, I wear darker colors anyway. So brown
Yeah.
jacket, green shirt, black pants. Like,
Right.
it works. So,
Our
Shall
armor
we?
is always black.
armor is always black. This is
Oh
correct.
yeah. Depression Squad, roll out.
Our final name.
Just as a heads up, yeah, I mean, you guys are attempting to sort of mimic this style and everything. How many of you would know that this is morning wear? This is for a very specific purpose. And if you're not from Kyrie, it's, I suppose, it's just that sort of odd. But
Norm has no clue.
No,
okay.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that just works out.
Crowley or Lydia wouldn't have mentioned it to me, to
Crap.
Kaushik. Lydia wouldn't have mentioned it to me.
Lydia hasn't
Who are
kept
you?
track of this day. Lydia
Her
is
best friend.
Lydia
Oh,
is a 9-year-old who
don't
is
think-
swept up in a holiday that makes a whole lot of sense to her.
I don't think she really pays too much attention to colors either. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, there's that. in there.
Am I wrong?
Anyways,
I am an academy man. I think I would know about important holidays in
You-
nearby regions.
you have probably heard it, yes.
Absolutely, this works out.
However, you all make your way down, RTM, I assume, using one of your shape shifts for the day, and Milo taking another person down of your choice down to the ground. You are all sort of greeted with this just mass exodus. I keep saying mass exodus from the city as people are just leaving the gates currently. All in black or streetwear, you just see pouring out of the gate. Crowley, I would say just passive searches. These guys sort of walk up, not really able to enter the gates right now, as probably close to well over 1,000 people are leaving the city right now. Not all of the residents, surely not everybody celebrates in this way, but a fair portion of them are pouring out of the gates currently. And I will say your friends off to the side, just sort of sitting and waiting, are very much sticking out like sore thumbs. So if you would like to grab them, you could.
I walk on by.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Walk away.
I pause and make my way to the other Lydia and her family.
Okay. All still sort of sitting there. You guys see a gentleman in fine black clothes walk up. Older man, scruff, bright green eyes, just worn and sallow face. Sort of bringing Lydia in. But pack is going that way, friend.
Do you care to join me? It is a mournful day.
You sound like Crowley. Just asking Matt. This is a different voice.
It's different. There's like no stereo going on here. There's no filter. No, I'm just kidding. It sounds like how he's been talking the past few days, but his face is definitely like, I guess if you would pay attention, like it doesn't seem like the magical effects, like whenever he disguises himself, this one seems to like actually move and react a little bit to the surroundings, just a little bit, just from how it seems a lot more natural. He's like, Koshik, I see you're all wearing the formal attire.
They always dress like this.
I discovered why they were on sale.
Well, stay close.
Just looking at him like, squint.
Would you care to join me, Lydia? And then he's going to look to her father. I am Caiaphas.
Caiaphas? Sort of looking towards the rest of the group. You are.
Shrug.
I'm gonna give him an insight check just to see. That's a natural one. He has no clue who you are, unfortunately.
Good, I do good work, I clean up real nice.
I'm sorry, I don't know a Caiaphas. We are traveling in this direction though. Well,
He'll reach into his cloak and hold up a mask.
Oh, Crowley. Caiaphas?
very well. Mila, Lydia, I will see you two later. Stay close with them, and I will see you back at the house, I suppose, later on. Sort of gives them a kiss, each on the forehead, and he heads back into the city.
Let us be on our way, I suppose.
Okay. If all of you are
From here? Asking Crowley and like Neela and Lily, like,
what'd
what
you say?
exactly is this? That they're going?
Who are you asking?
The people that are from here, like, since they're all standing in a group, like.
This is a remembrance of sorts. Yeah, no, I mean it's a pretty well-known day. I'm gonna say the day of the morning probably doesn't escape any of you, even with a 8 intelligence. It may
Right.
be of the sense that, oh, that kind of snuck up on me. It has been 3 years since this happened, since there's no real reason for most of you to track it. But Neela says it's a day of remembrance. We're going to pay homage to our home, if you will.
I just like watching the stream of people. Like, are they going like on a road? Or...
They exit on the road and sort of head off of the road a bit into just sort of some grasslands off to the east of the town.
Would that be in the direction of Kyrie?
It is.
Yeah, Carly lets out another like heavy breath, cold welling up near. We should get going, or else we'll be too far behind to see anything.
Cool.
Crowley's going to lead the way,
Okay.
to make sure to stand by Lydia and her mother.
Okay. You guys file in line. Fairly quiet travel. Not a lot of people talking as they sort of make their way out of the city, snaking their way down out of the road, sort of into some of the foothills and taller grasses to the east of New Kyrie, looking back towards off in the distance, far in the distance, the dead gray mist of what is now the Mournland, their previous home of Kyrie. After several minutes of people filing in and moving into just very not any sort of particular formation, some of them bringing like blankets to sit on the ground, some of them, if they're solo, bringing towels and just sort of kneeling, sort of sitting there. It's a very a lot of this, at least at this point, seems to be mourning together but alone, if that makes sense. They're doing their own thing currently, all just sort of off in the distance, thinking about sort of what they've lost. Creepy music should be fine.
God damn it.
What are you 7 doing while this is sort of happening? Currently you're perched on a foothill looking in the distance, sort of a foggy chilly morning, dew still fresh on the grass. But what would you like to do during this?
So Gorham's just kind of trying to be respectful of whatever's going on here, not quite understanding it, but just kind of vibing.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to ask Crowley, how long is this does this event usually last for?
This in particular event shouldn't take long, but the morning, probably the day.
Crowley, you would know to expect this, and if you care to communicate this, it is completely up to you. Kyrans they have 2 parts of this day. They mourn and remember in the morning. The latter part of the day turns into something very different. It is a very different environment, and it turns into a celebration of what Kyrie is here and was and during the home.
Right now we mourn in remembrance of the day, but in the evening we will celebrate what was. It will probably perhaps be more to your liking.
One second. Go ahead. Just come back to me.
Okay.
I was coughing. I I would like to have taken note of that exchange, unless it was meant to be fairly private affair. Again, we'll just kind of think about that for a moment, just kind of remembrance and for what is and what was. Take a few steps off the side, about like 5 to 10 feet from the rest of the group, and just hands clasped in front of him, like looking at the mist, and just kind of not loudly, more under his breath, just start listing off names. Gwendolyn, Vestian, Crendel, Charmlin, and just going down a laundry list of people lost, but like during the war and for a few minutes.
The whole time Milo is pretty much just trying to, I mean, he knows what's going on. He knows he's not a part of it, so he's just trying to be kind of respectful and out of the way. In a large gathering like this, especially with everyone wearing nondescript clothing, he wants to have the Kestrel kind of circling and keeping an eye on, like, you know, looking out for child snatchers or children in distress or whatever.
Okay.
From the sky.
All right.
Crawley's gonna step away. I'm sure Lydia and her mother are, gonna make their way. And he's just going to.
They have found their sort of spot where all of you sort of are right now. Gorham and Milo just sort of trying to stay out of the way at the moment. Neela pulls out a small blanket for her and Lydia to sort of kneel on currently, sort of very much in the fashion of everyone else here. Just sort of kneeling there. Lydia somewhat fidgety, like a child would be, not really, grasping what's going on, but Neela is sitting there just sort of eyes closed at moments, thinking, just very silent across this entire field.
Yeah, Crowley's going to move up and he's going to remove a small gem, very similar to the ones that he has implanted in his masks, and he's going to kiss it before kneeling, and he's just going to start, whispering to himself as he kind of scoops up a little bit of the earth and places the gem down before covering it again and placing his hand over the mound of dirt. And there's it seems to be very rough for him. There's like a little bit of a tear on his left eye as he mutters the name and remembrance of the family and people he once knew.
Okay. Gorham, as you're sort of trying to stay out of the way, Neela, done with her, sort of her remembrance, or just picking her head up momentarily, sort of sees you, sort of just trying to stay out of people's way as they make their way to his places. Neela sort of reaches out and grabs your hand, actually, and says, "Come here, if you do not mind."
All right, I'll go over, move closer to her.
Moves closer, and she says, "Kneel. Just kneel down with me."
I'll kneel down with her.
Okay. Says, I don't know much about dwarven people. Unfortunately, I am not that versed. However, granted, this day is meant for remembering our homeland, and take it as a moment of remembrance for you as well. The ones that came before you. The ones that built the roads that you travel on. The ones that built the morals that you stand on. We all stand on our shoulders of kings here. This got a little bit too intense for me. Jeez. However, just remember, you don't have to stay out of the way. It is not exclusive to remember those that came before us.
Gorham kind of chuckles. I think about my ancestors every day. It is my way.
Then you will fit right along with her, she says, as she sort of like rubs the back of your armor sort of awkwardly and goes back to goes back to kneeling and as well, just sort of seemingly trying to include you on what is going on here. What is Koshik, RTM, and Melgrim doing during this time? RTM, you're muted and no one else is talking.
I am going to shapeshift into a raptor and use one charge from the staff to cover my skin in black bark.
Into a raptor?
Yep.
Very well. You get some gasps here and there. Neela sort of looks around at the rest of the party. But what is he doing? And some people just sort of move their stuff away from RTM.
I don't know. He's RTM. He does things.
That is the best explanation of RTM I've ever heard. I don't know. He's RTM. He does things. Okay.
I guess at this point, seeing his brother Neil, he's gonna be like, guess.
Yeah, I'll get down with the rest of them.
Melgrim, you're super quiet.
Yeah. Seeing his brother kneeling down, he's gonna kind of kneel right down beside his brother and just think of his father, mother, and a whole bunch of the ancestors, essentially.
Okay.
Artyom's thinking of a bunch of his halfling homies that didn't quite make it.
You guys sit here. Go ahead, Koshik.
I was just gonna say I don't really have anybody specific to remember because I don't remember. So I'm just gonna be standing with Milo, just kind of respectfully vibing.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be it.
All right. As all of you sort of sit here, some of you with something to remember, others sort of lost on the concept, or at least on this moment in particular. You sit here, some of you a part of the war, remembering fallen comrades, fallen friends and whatnot, families, and ancestors before. This goes on for some time, actually. There is probably you guys are sitting here, those that are remembering, and after a while it's like, okay, I'm running out of names and memory and a somber attitude here. Surely this is going somewhere eventually. And eventually sort of stepping up around in front of this group on a sort of hill off to your north. Again, you see a familiar Prince Origev on this hill. To his side, now more familiar to you, Gandalin, his right-hand man, which you did not receive the name of, and several of the King's Guard sort of stepping up here. It is a day of remembrance, and I thank you all. We keep home in our hearts every day, and we celebrate what Kyrie was, what the jewel was, on this day more than others. We are a peoples that persevere, and will make it home eventually. Giving just sort of a speech, talking to his people, his ally again, or his right hand man again, sort of giving him this thaumaturgy, so his voice can boom out over this plethora of people, so everyone can hear. Another person steps up and sings a song of remembrance for Kyrie. Crowley, probably one you're familiar with. Nothing that is out of this realm for Crowley to actually know the lyrics to. So
Crowley's probably going to join in under his breath, very mournful, just follow along.
There's a couple of people that do that. It's not very loud. The main focus here is just sort of the song of remembrance. Mostly everybody's still remembering. But But as this goes on and everybody, this song eventually ends, everybody sort of standing up and getting their things together. It seems to be sort of a motion to back into the city for everyone. So as everyone gathers their items, their things, Milo, roll a perception check for your kestrel.
There are child snatchers everywhere. They're crapping them up by the dozen. Sanity.
That is a 15, 11 plus 4. Wait. They get advantage on site-based checks.
Okay.
That was low. Yeah, still 15.
15? All right. Not seeing much. Your bird flies around the city itself a couple times above the walls, but there is nothing, it seems, moving in there. It tracks Abet for a little bit, but he makes his way on it further into the city and lose track of him eventually. But you look around, the city is just deserted for the most part. And you see the mass of just black that is among this green field. But you don't see anything suspicious, nothing that stands out really. However, as the rest of you sort of gather up your things, and Neela grabs up Lydia, and they say, well, we are going to be going back home and gathering the rest of our things. I suppose we need to talk to Abet about a plan of exit. So when are you meeting with him?
Tomorrow night.
Very well. Okay. I suppose if we would like to stay on the ship again, if at all possible. If not, we will be in our homes, waiting on you.
Of course.
Very well. Sort of slight head nod, and then they start moving into the city with everyone else. Are you guys moving into the city with everyone, going back up to the airship? What's your plans for the day as you...
Crowley's going to look and see if his patron is there. The one.
Okay.
And just kind of keep an eye out on
I will
the returning
say,
flock.
Gotcha. Give me a perception check. It's going to be a fairly high difficulty with the amount of people here.
16.
You don't see your patron out here. You do know where she lives though. She did commission your services from her home.
We basically agreed upon like an afternoon meeting, so I assume this probably lasted to afternoon anyway, so that's probably where I'm going to be heading.
It is about noon right now. So heading back in.
Yes. Cray's going to stop and inform the others. I have some business to take care of. If you need me, I'll be a few streets over.
Okay.
Not offering any real address, but I will be back in an hour or so at the tavern. Tavern name, because I can't remember the name.
There was not a name on this tavern. It was blank on the front.
The Lost
Tavern.
Souls. I see. Tavern of Lost Names.
Or just a new tavern with no real name.
Well, time to buy them out and put a name on it.
We could probably do that actually. We
When
have the cash.
when Crowley goes to walk away, could I walk over to kind of intercept him before he gets too far?
Yeah.
Being as quiet as he can and leaning down, he's seen Crowley, who's the one who had kind of a smile and a laugh for everything they've faced so far, being solemn and sad for the first time. Like, the only negative emotion he's ever seen on Crowley. He's only down save.
Your pain is your own. You don't have to mourn alone, Crowley.
Crowley is kind of like fishing into his robe, and he's gonna look up and
Damn, you're a big bitch.
he does not think that. Thank you, Milo. Your words are felt on this day of mourning, and I appreciate them. I know I'm not the easiest to get along with. They're the most open, but I appreciate it.
He just puts a hand on his shoulder, gives it a squeeze before walking back, says,
You're one of us.
Yes. And he'll kind of like up and pat you on the shoulder. Not used to doing that myself, so I'm like, yeah, right there. I will see you in the hour. And then he's gonna kind of move, and like as he's moving, you see like a black cloth go over his head, and the hood goes up again, and he disappears into the crowd.
Okay. Is the rest of the party making their way into town as well?
I figure. I believe. I mean, we will have a meeting with Abet tomorrow, but
Right,
it
and
doesn't hurt to do what searching and asking questions we can do ourselves. See what we can turn up on our own.
Now that people are kind of back in the city, I'm going to disengage the drone from the armor and have it join the Kestrel to try and cover more ground and get more detail.
okay.
And be a little bit more active on the looking.
Okay. Yeah, you guys move into the cities. People seem to be going home at the moment. But we'll get to you guys momentarily. Where is your rendezvous point with Crowley?
Oh, I informed them last session that I would be meeting them for luncheon.
Okay, so just at the tent again, where all the
Yes.
good foods are.
Oh, I thought you meant the lady. Them,
No,
I said
no,
the
no, no.
tavern, but you know, I guess I would assume either that or the dinner hall again, the tent.
Okay. Making your plans to meet back up at sort of the market again, since it's a familiar place for all of you. And it's getting lunchtime anyways, and you guys didn't eat breakfast and getting an early morning out. However, Crowley, you've head out, making your way towards the address where this person commissioned you. You know her as Eleanor Sprayberry. Making your way down the street to her address, going to the more affluent neighborhood that sort as much as you can in New Kyrie. You come to a house that, while it tries to be sort of like a shadow of its former self, it's like this is putting on some sort of facade of being the still noble stature that this house was previously. But yeah, it's multiple stories, but still made out of wood, and some plaster is on here, though they were not very well done. It's like falling apart and some falling off the walls in some areas. But yeah, making your way. Is there anything you'd like to do for you?
What was that last name again?
Sprayberry.
Okay, well, I wrote it right then. Never mind.
Yep.
No, I'm going directly to there.
Okay. A rap on the door, a quick open, a familiar Warforged face dressed in a tux himself. You see Horatio right here. Ah, Crowley. Hey, pleasure. Come right in. They are expecting you. He sort of opens the door for you in this again, trying to be grander than they are, than it is. Letting you in, closing the door behind you.
Yeah, Crowley will enter and respectfully lower his hood, maintaining some decorum.
You hear a voice. You have not met this person before. Not meeting this person before. An older woman, sort of walking through the foyer area. Oh, Horatio, who are you? You see, an sort of an older woman, hair in this just sort of high white bun with this black dress on, sort of taking off like day gloves or something like that as she's just coming back inside and handing them off to Horatio. Well,
Crowley.
oh, very well then. Horatio did say you'd be coming. And Horatio stands around, and one of his like hip joints lock up, and as it does, it just lets out a... I need to get that oiled. However,
Painful.
Eleanor should be up shortly. Let me walk over here and I will go get her from the basement. I really need to get that checked out. And he sort of raps on a door off to the left from the stairs and walks away, and you just hear him creaking down the hallway. That's the best I got. Warforged don't toot. Anyways, you hear him creaking off down the hallways. Left here, she introduces herself and just sort of holds out a limp wrist for you and says, I am Lady Delilah Sprayberry, the lady of the house.
Crowley will take her hand and bow. Like, he won't kiss it because he's wearing a mask, but he'll tap his head to it. My lady. My lady
Yes.
Sprayberry, thank you.
Horatio,
Before-
I am famished. Please cook something quickly. Yes, ma'am. As he walks back the other way towards the kitchen, sort of a grease bottle in hand as he walks down the hallway trying to fix this issue. A couple of moments later, coming up from door, seeing stairs lead down and a familiar face walking out, you see Eleanor Sprayberry. Dark skin, dark hair, sort of tied up in a ponytail, wearing a work apron and just sort of grease and just black stains on her hands and face. Towel in her hand, says, Crowley, and sort of comes in and gives you a half hug, trying not to get any of your clothes dirty or anything like that. Horatio told me you'd be coming by. It's good to see you, friend.
And you.
Let's sit down, shall we? And closes the door behind her, waving her hand, and where you see just sort of a spectral lock appear. Walking and sort of leading you into this a sitting area off to the right, again trying to be more than what it is. It is all but 2 chairs and a small sort of roughly carved dining room table. You see, as you're sort of walking through this house, like anything that they could salvage from their old house, they've brought in, and it's really conflicting with what's going on and what the house actually is. But
Opulence on the inside a little bit, but raggedy on the out.
yeah, it's even somewhat raggedy on the inside, as you can see some exposed like beams and stuff in the house. It's like the house was thrown up in an effort to be done quickly. But yeah, you sort of sit down. Horatio is called for and says, can you bring us something to drink, please? Is tea okay?
Certainly.
Okay. Tea, please. Yes, ma'am. Horatio, come here. And she pulls out this sort of like this tube from her back pocket and sort of sprays down his right leg, moves it around. Much better, ma'am. Thank you. He walks away and back into the back to the kitchen. So
And then someone pays for another toot. I'm sorry.
I can't
What-
afford it, unfortunately.
what news have you?
Nothing too great, but I can tell you a little bit of what I've come across. I've been told that some of the children we found in my journeys have returned home. I'm sure you must have heard of it. Certainly I had not.
I did. I was remiss to hear that mine did not return with them.
And I'm sorry, but it seems to me that I found that the trail is far further than I had imagined. It has taken me across the breadth of Corvair. It seems that the circle not only goes from Carnathi, but it's extended to Flamekeep and even further into Sharn, which I will be visiting after I am done here.
Horatio, can you bring me a quill and paper, please? Horatio brings it back along with some tea, sets them down for you all. She just sort of starts scribbling some stuff down on this paper. Yeah, I mean, you've tracked them down multiple places now. Have you found any instances of them?
Of your child, no, but I have seen something of the beings that are taking the children.
And
One was not of this world, as far as we could tell. It seemed more demonic than mortal to me. For its purpose, of course, was sinister, but I could not gain much information. He had to be dealt with.
right. Crowley, with a passive insight, you can tell that this woman is angry. She is livid. Composed very well at the moment, but sort of not feeling your answers right now.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of by the handle of her cup, just spinning her teacup around, just listening to the information you're giving her.
Their reach even pulled to the Templar of Law and the Templar of Law in Flamekeep. They have friends in high places, but I assure you, I'm still pulling them down one by one.
Crowley, it has been months at this point. She looks you dead in what she would believe to be your eyes behind the mask. Says, "You know as well as I do." Sort of that anger shifting to sadness before immediately shifting back. "You know as well as I do, there's not much hope."
I am aware. That is why I did not take an extremely high fee from you. I told you I would do it for partially nothing. In fact, I'm actually more than eager to see the rest of them taken down. And at least at that, I can perhaps find what has happened to your child, at least. I'm confident in that. But I ask that you do not give way to sadness. The mourning should make you realize that nothing is absolute. Don't let it be until I come to you with proof.
The mourning has already taken away my husband. And now I've had my daughter taken from me too. I am left in a cold, empty home with nothing but a scathing mother. I appreciate your help, but I appreciate your comforts. I'm not so sure that they're well-founded. Speak straight with me. There's no need. I am very acquainted with loss, as you are.
If I were to speak straightly, 3 months is not a good thing. The only thing that I could say that would probably hate us is the movement has been very slow between the children. That at least might buy me an extra month at most. But it is grim.
Where have your travels taken you so far? Where have you found instances of this, or what cities, towns have you been through?
Crowley's going to list them off just because obviously Flamekeep, Karnath, there was a Marketport, right? Or
Reckonmark.
Reckonmark. Passage, etc. He's going to list off, and even like before the campaign started, just a few more towns.
Right.
Basically, each one leading to a bigger fish.
Right. Sort of tracing your way up through Karnath and around to your adventures through Auspurge Passage and so on. She's all the meanwhile just scribbling these things down.
Sharn is the next stop, and I feel like there must be something there. It is a dark place, as you know. Many go missing in Sharn.
Many have been going missing here, Crowley.
How many more since I've left?
24.
He's going to shake his head. They pull with confidence. They are not frightened in the least by the guard in the street. It worries me. It pains me to think that there is someone helping them that is familiar with this city.
Yeah. I suppose. Well, she kind of looks down at herself, finishes her tea off. I appreciate you stopping by, regardless of no information. Your courtesy is not lost on me. Forgive my mother. The old bat does not realize we're not at home anymore. I look forward to any other updates. You know where I am.
And I will provide them as quickly as I may.
Very well. Sort of stands up.
Crowley stands up immediately.
I have no other information to give to you, unfortunately, other than it is still happening in town. And the guard themselves seem incompetent at handling anything like this, along with anyone else looking into this.
Perhaps before I leave, I can see to something about it.
Perhaps. I am very busy, though. I will see you out, Crowley. And she walks you to the door, opening it for you. Safe travels. Looking forward to hearing from you again.
Farewell. And he's gonna make his way out.
She shuts the door. Very abrupt goodbye. You make your way out onto the street, and as you do, Crowley, everyone else outside of here, the mood is in the midst of a very large shift as people come back out from their homes. After probably 10 or 15 minutes, it seems they have gone into their homes and done a Superman change of some sort into bright, colorful, Kyrie fashion clothing. All of them in what would be a Kyrie version of their Sunday best. Long flowing sleeves, big pockets everywhere. Like just large and like angular, flowing clothing. Very much statement makers all around you. Those that can't afford it or just the loss do their best as well with wearing just colorful, simple vests of some sort. But as you guys are sort of sitting here in the market, coming out, the food tent that you guys are just sort of hanging out in the market, I suppose, unless there's anything you would like to do. Because like I said, there is some time in between this.
I want to real quick flip my cloak inside out, and I'm back to the red cloak. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right.
Reversible.
So what
Party
time did
time.
you say it was?
At this point, it's about 12:30, almost 1 o'clock.
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime, indeed. Okay.
Perhaps plan over a meal.
Okay.
We intend to deal with whatever part of the group that is operating within here. Probably do to have some kind of plan to work with.
Okay.
Are we going back to that pay-as-you-go place, or pay what you want place?
That was the meeting point you guys established.
Okay, hell yeah.
If you guys are hanging
It's
outside
good.
of this place, you actually see before anybody starts pouring outside of these homes, you see several different things covered in smoking already when you roll up to the marketplace. Several people behind there already moving very, very quickly. Probably 20 to 30 people under this tent just cooking as fast as they can. As soon as people start pouring out and just sort of this all-encompassing mood switch of the town, it looks like a block party is about to happen with everybody just sort of filling out into this area. Multiple people with instruments off to the side, all these street vendors filling their tents once again, selling their goods, having more things out, having sales and what have you, trying to pull people in, calling out to people and just trying to pull them in. You see the the same halfling Milo that has talked to you, with two sort of small dinosaur creatures in their cages, sort of swinging them around like, hey, you want a dinosaur for Christmas, eh? You don't celebrate Christmas very well, yeah, you, and just sort of going around to different people walking around with these things, going around the town. It is very vibrant, and as people start getting in this line to this food tent, starting slinging out food, pulling different things outside of ovens and stoves and everything, what have you. Eventually, as you sort of see this unfold, Crowley making his way up through the market as well. What would you
His
guys like to do?
clothing now vibrant, more similar to what he usually wears in color.
The market being as busy as it is, I'm assuming there's someone selling like sheets or scarves or something like that.
Yeah. Scarves, absolutely. Some blanket vendors and stuff like that. Yeah, 100%.
Noticing that like he's still wearing his grim black armor and everyone else is getting some vibrant sheet. He wants to get like a bright thing of like fabric and a scarf or something, and basically have like a bright toga thing on over his armor.
Very well.
Like hold on, I'm gonna roll for color real quick to see.
A flowery bed sheet, just like.
Bro,
wipe
that
it
shit is
over.
hot pink.
Very well.
Something floral. Let's go.
Okay.
Pepto-Bismol.
Old Pepsi Bismol. Milo, costs you 2 silver. You buy their most expensive one, flowers, blooming out of the sort of the blanket itself. This thing has actual like fabric leaves on it, embroidered into the blanket itself.
Yeah, fan.
But yeah, as you guys sort of see this unfolding, Crowley now in his normal colorful garb making their way up. Several different musicians hanging around on several of these corners, hats on the ground. This is very much a celebration. You see that the beer and wine vendor that you guys have been to before, sort of the burly older human guy, slinging out drinks left and right, just cheering and taking a beer for almost everyone he's handing out. He's having a good time down there currently.
Dear God.
What would you guys like to do?
So I'm fixing this toga around myself and kind of securing it with the sash in the middle. Make eye contact with Kashyyyk and just give her kind of a nod. Like, yep, we in the mood now.
He gets the double thumbs up. And then I want to point out the dinosaur seller to Artyom.
Okay. I
It's
don't
gonna
want
be
to
like-
kill a dinosaur.
I know, but
You don't want another bill?
I was so hyped, but now I'm so disappointed.
What's
I
wrong?
thought he'd be excited, but he's not.
Are they like little compies or something?
Yeah, they look like little compies.
Yeah, those are no better than rats, honestly.
Oh,
But they're
shit.
so cute.
Well, why don't you get one?
Are they though?
Some people think that possum is cute as well.
I'm
Same
one of those
thing.
people.
Some people do think that.
Are you calling me out there, Kent, buddy?
Yep.
Right? I
Rude.
feel attacked.
Trash gremlins.
Well, do you need money to get one if you wanted it?
No, I'm not going to get one. I've got Waldy to worry about right now.
I mean, he's dead, so.
It does kind of talk in his sleep.
He's a lot to handle.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's a word. That's a word. That's a good one. It's a good word.
Yes. You don't get to use it very much. I don't anyway.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, though, other than trying to fit in more with the festive nature, Milo's got like a lot more. But he's not all slooped and pouty. It's like an almost jarring shift, being like standing pretty straight and kind of purpose driven. And he frequently is going to be doing the trick to look through the drone and the hawk's eyes to really kind of stick to his current task.
Okay.
It seems to me that if you are a group of people that like to steal children, the midst of a festival
Yeah, this seems like a
celebration would be
pretty,
a
where's Lydia? Right?
fruitful time.
She's with their mom, right?
They went back to their house.
Neela and Lydia said they were going back to their house.
So, should we look around, see if we can find anybody who appears to be actively trying to steal a kid?
Already on it.
It's
Okay.
kind of hard to just see normal people in this crowd, much less see people who are eyeballing children.
I was going more for catching them in the act of trying to take a kid. And, you know, capture them. Because are there, like, kids, like, running around? Like, playing and shit?
I won't make you roll a perception check. There are a lot of people out here currently, and amongst them are some children out here.
Like, that are solo dolo, not with parents?
You don't see a lot without parents. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm just saying, like, interesting.
Hey, little Timmy, I know kids will be getting snatched off the street by the handful, but you just go have a good time with your friends.
Hey,
now. I'll
not
see you-
everybody's a good parent, Cody.
I think that if we're able to watch the perimeter of the crowd, it would be maybe a little more productive, because if they're going to take children, they're not going to keep them in the crowd, they're going to leave the crowd.
I've got my
Sounds
eyes
like-
in the sky looking at the alleyways and the edges and stuff.
Okay, good.
This town doesn't have a sewer, does it?
No, it does not.
I was fairly certain it did, but you know, just to be sure.
Yeah.
Crowley, do you
Always
know
got to
of
be sure.
any, I don't know, maybe underground tunnel system that could be hidden underneath the land?
None that you're aware of, Crowley. You think if there were any sort of underground tunnel, just sort of surmising, if you think there were any underground tunnels, it would be like under Orgev's house, so he could have a quick escape if he needed to, you know, rich people stuff.
Nothing that strikes my mind, but perhaps we can have some bait.
This place, this city is landlocked, right? It doesn't have
Yes.
a port.
Correct.
So, I mean, they have to get trades somewhere, right? Where do merchants come stay? Where do they keep their goods?
Yeah, let's
Are there warehouses?
exactly. We should go and if these
Break in some
people
places.
if these people operate with similar plans, then we should definitely look into wealthy merchants or people who are into politics in the area who might be well connected to make people look other direction, things of that nature. In both cases, we have them coming into a warehouse with, I could only surmise, is some form of organized crime helping them, which we didn't really get into Carnath, but
But they have to have somewhere to keep them and then take them from, and there aren't boats here. So,
what do you suggest, Crowley? This is your semi-home turf, however you want to describe it.
Well, there's certainly a large celebration going on right now. This is the perfect time for them to abduct more children.
If I may, haven't they been building a new lightning rail nearby?
They have.
Perhaps the construction area would be a good place to keep children. It's not somewhere that the general public would be probably allowed to go, if not willing. So
There's
that might be a place to look.
I know they're building a new lightning rail but is there one reaching New Kyrie and they're building one to the Mornland? Is that how it's working?
No, there is one that sort of passes parallel to New Kyrie. They're extending off of that one and bringing it to New Kyrie.
Okay.
Here, we can look at our map.
oh
We will-
shit. Crazy map.
Oh, wait a minute.
On the map.
We'll go here. I don't have the map pulled up, so this is...
Oop.
I don't have the map pulled up. Oh, no. There we go.
Dear God.
Dear
Oh,
God.
Google.
Google.
Google. Don't judge me.
Ah!
Bad dungeon master here. Don't judge me. I should have this.
Ah!
Open up, please, you fricker. Here we go.
There it goes.
All right. Traveling down all the way to where you guys are, right here in New Kyrie. This rail right here going from Star Alaska down to Stern Gate is what they are building off of and coming to New Kyrie.
I see.
Gotcha.
So, we have check the warehouses or wherever they are keeping merchants' supplies, the construction site of the lightning rail.
Don't think it's a lightning rail underground.
Not typically, no.
Ow!
Whoa, there's a
Okay.
lot of noise going on.
Somebody's opening a chip bag.
So it sounds like. No, lightning rails are typically surface level. I say
Okay.
typically. Lightning rails are always surface level, as
Big
far as
tra-
you're aware.
Well, I mean, always a strong word. We've seen evidence to the contrary.
What about that one that was under that guy's
Yeah.
house?
We saw the private one.
It's true.
Um,
Typically,
Anywho,
surface level.
So, shall we take a look at those places today, or do we want to just keep an eye on the general surroundings for now? See if we can find any shady people.
We should perhaps keep an eye on the general surroundings for now and wait till a little bit later to check.
So, how do we want to split up then? There's a lot of area with lots of people. Kestrel and or Bird and Drone are all well and good, but they are also in the air. Having people spread out among everybody else should do pretty well.
Well, you could get some food first, and then
Oh,
I mean, I
yes,
could
of
also
course.
fly
I-
around and keep an eye on things. What did you have in mind to try and spread out the look at all the children?
Yeah, they just wander around the perimeters, that kind of thing. Just keep an eye out, see if we can spot anything interesting. Otherwise, we're just standing around waiting until we meet with Abet and his people.
Yeah, that's over a day away. I don't want to just kind of
Exactly.
sit around with my dick in my hand. Okay,
Yes,
so
exactly. That's my thought. So we look around for the day. Once things get a little darker, we check out the warehouses and construction site. Yes.
did Crowley ever say where would he suggest that we start?
Yeah, he mentioned starting, like, watching the celebration around the area,
Yep.
see if anything starts there.
All right, well, let's get to it. Then any of you need help getting like an elevated position on some rooftops or anything like that?
I mean, probably. Do we want to have everybody wandering around? I feel like the elevated positions will be handled by Milo's
I mean, on
stuff.
rooftops or anything like that.
What
Yes.
do you mean elevated positions?
Like on the
'Cause I'm
roof.
short.
The rooftop, like you said 3 times already.
Melgrim, are you alright? You hit your head or something?
Melgrim,
I'm just
I love you.
hungry.
I love you like a brother, but it's hard for you to see over the head of many people because you are, in fact, shorter, unfortunately.
However, I'm gonna
You're
look around
stronger
at the
than all of
roofs.
these people.
Are there anybody standing on rooftops right now?
Is there anyone standing on rooftops?
Yes.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
14.
14. Currently you're in a tent market, so there's not a lot of rooftops to be held.
Right. But like any buildings like farther off, I don't see any silhouettes of people just hanging out on the roof.
You see closer to the market as the main street comes in. You see not necessarily on the roof, but a higher gable. A Chiron male just sort of giving this lamenting celebratory poem, reading out just loud and sort of performing as he could, and just sort of bellowing it out above the people that are coming back into the city and coming out of their houses.
But point being, nobody's like standing on the roof.
No, you don't see anyone
Okay.
standing on roofs currently.
It may be a bit
Since
may
you are
stand out a bit to have people standing on the roof.
What
sort
what if we What if we got like a disguise or an illusion or something to make one of us look like a kid later tonight, and then be kind of alone and try and get snatched?
I mean, I had some people already tried to jump me once, so.
Not kidnap you like a child.
I can turn into a lot of things. I can't really turn into a little kid. That's
Kashik?
honestly kind of weird.
I can disguise myself for a time to look like a child.
Much shorter.
I'm
Yeah.
like 5'8". I couldn't
go
look like
down-
a kid if I wanted to.
Yeah, I would look like a 12-year-old according to the. I looked at measurements of heights for children.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I don't. It's 4'10" is what I'd be. I'd be a foot lower.
So
Which
we
is like
we can go a
12-year-old.
whole foot shorter.
Yep,
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
How long does that last?
about an hour.
How many
Can you
times
do
can
it
you
mul-
do it?
Yeah, that's the question.
Enough.
While we're all discussing all this, are we kind of making our way through the line for food?
For food, yep.
For-
Because
Okay,
I want to
y'all
get
are-
a big ass turkey drumstick
God damn it.
so I can blend into the crowd and just look like I'm enjoying myself with a big ass turkey drumstick.
Milo ate like nothing
also-
yesterday.
So I have a bludgeoning weapon if I need it.
That's an
Very well.
improvised weapon.
Plus
Not
one turkey
proficient.
drumstick of
Plus
wounding.
one.
Very well.
I hope that turkey drumstick has bacon wrapped around it.
Make it so, Jonesy. Make it so.
And Melgrim will like to look around for whatever the spiciest food there is.
Oh God.
Okay. Yeah, Kaushik, no bacon wrapped turkey leg, unfortunately, but still large turkey legs there. Nonetheless, gives you a slow roasted. Again, pot in front of them, pay what you will, sort of thing as you're going down this line. And there's a lot of people just sort of reaching over, grabbing, throwing some coinage into the vase.
I will toss in a platinum for the squad.
Oh shit. God damn, people fucking big bucks over here. Lord.
some
I am
of-
respecting the people of Kyrie. They
head,
got a hard
head
day.
up as he hands it. He just gives you a quick thank you as he keeps handing out food.
That man thought it was silver.
Yeah, he did. I rolled an 8 on his perception
He'll
check.
find out when he's going through his money that it's not a silver, and that's all I need.
Melgrim, as you're sort of making your way through the line, sort of, some of this equipment is a little bit taller than you, so getting on your toes and looking around for some spicy. You do see a guy with a large, what looks to be flank of meat, and he's got 2 canisters in his hands currently, and is just drenching it in spices right now. And you see him, he flips it back over, drenches it again. You see like a couple of these racks of meat that look like they've been smoked, and just with this thick, dark, almost dark red crust around it.
Dear God.
Ooh, that looks good.
I'm gonna die.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get some of that.
It's pretty weak compared to Dwarven food, but it's has more spice than typical Humi food.
Yumi food.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
Eventually, you guys make your way through the lines, though, and getting your food. Are you guys sort of eating on the fly as you're looking
Yes.
around the edges of this market? Okay, so you guys are just sort of vibing with your food.
Yep.
I did change the map for you guys in Roll20. I do need to resize it because there is more map to it than this, but let's see.
There's some horses.
There are
Gosh,
some horses.
you can get a horse that is not dead.
You could, if you would like to. I just need to resize it. For some reason, it is not working with me.
You should just have to do the. You can just expand how big the map is.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, you can expand the dimensions of the whole thing
Oh, yeah, I know.
if you
I
go
knew
into like
that.
the options and stuff.
Let's see. I thought I made it wide enough, but here, we'll just do this.
Boom.
Okay, I got most of it. All right.
Mapo Expando.
Mapo Expando. All right. You guys taking up some perimeters. Where are you guys going? Exactly. If you're all just sort of splitting off from this point, what are each of you doing?
I'm just kind of wandering off. Like they said that if we're gonna see any of them like outside of the crowd, it's gonna be trying to get them away. So it's kind of like finding the edges of the celebratory area and just kind of as eating, walking along, just kind of keeping an eye out, looking around, observing, looking like anybody's like trying to abscond with a child.
Go ahead and put yourselves on the map where you'd like to be. General area, it doesn't have to be specific. Just for everybody's frame of reference, this is the large sort of cooking tent where everybody's sort of slinging out food. There's a large line of people out here right now. This newer sort of fancier tent still closed off at the moment. You have some and just various vendors over here, but those are your main. And then right down here at the very bottom of the map, this is your little halfling vendor with your various dinosaurs and what have you. So
are any of these tents attractions that kids would more likely be drawn to? Like the horses, what are the horses?
The
like
horses,
a petting zoo?
No, it's not. It's actually someone that is selling these horses out here. Yeah, it's not like a petting zoo, although you do see some kids coming up and just sort of like petting the horses before walking on again. But yeah, no, they're very much selling the horses themselves. Right here, right across from them, looks like some sort of regular repair. Looks like wagon repair. Over here is your beer and wine tent that's going on. Your jewelry tent down here. And various clothing tents and stuff down here. You have some sort of weapons dealer. So yeah.
So Milo will be over
sorry.
here. Oh, so Milo will be over here by the repair tent.
Okay.
Seemingly looking at, half-heartedly looking at the tools or whatever they have. Largely kind of focusing on micromanaging the bird and the drone. But he's also kind of keeping an eye in these directions. Since the food tent's so busy, those look like good avenues for absconsion with children.
Okay.
But mostly focusing on his birds.
Kaushik,
I was a child snatcher.
Are you behind the beer and wine tent?
No, I'm gonna post up kind of to the side of it, just kind of leaning by it, like just enjoying my turkey leg, watching this pathway. I feel like drunk parents are the easiest ones to steal children from, and so that's my thought process about hanging out by that little pathway in between.
Okay.
Just vibing
All right.
by it.
Perfect. Is there anything else specific anybody else would like to be doing?
I'm gonna be down by the dinosaur cellar.
Are you? Okay. Sort of towards the south. Very well.
Compy army.
I can't seem to place myself, but I was going to be somewhere north of the food shack.
Okay.
Just kind of close to it, eating, and then after taking a little while to finish my meal, I'm just going to kind of hang out in the area and try to shapeshift into a cute-looking dog.
Just like a street dog?
No, like as cutest as I can make it. I want to try to lure some kids away and use them as bait.
Pomeranian, that's terrible.
Bruh.
Please don't do that.
He's trying to get kids kidnapped.
Okay.
They're not going to get kidnapped if somebody counts for them.
Oh,
Have any
no.
shapeshifts left?
That's why I want to hang out for about an hour or so I can get my shapeshift back.
Okay, we'll consider you guys getting a short rest in over your food and everything. Gorham just sort of hanging out by the weapons tent.
Yeah, just kind of perusing, keep an eye out,
Gotcha.
seeing if I see any kidnappings.
Gotcha.
Do we have like an emergency word? Do we have a oh shit word? We don't. Okay.
Yeah,
Mistake.
someone's being kidnapped.
They're like, oh fuck, help!
Well, I mean,
That's
he'll-
our safety word.
You hear Malcolm yelling, "Mistake!"
Bonanza.
Beans have to do with this.
Voodoo
Beans
beans.
have to do with everything.
I just tried to drag you onto the map and couldn't. RTM, that's weird.
Yeah, I just refreshed and
There you go. I put you on there.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hang out around there.
All right. As you guys are sort of sitting here, perusing, in quotes, looking for various things, having your meal, just sort of looking around for any sort of suspicious activity, as a celebration of this size with some children out here is ill-advised in the midst of what is going on. But it looks like they're trying to live some sort of normal life because they're tired of normal life being taken away from them. But that is what they're doing currently. Like I said, there are some kids. You don't see any kids by themselves currently. I would like just a general perception check from everybody, though.
23.
24.
17.
Russian bros, let's go.
I don't know if you're including the Kestrel as well, but he got
Yep.
a 26.
Very nice.
21.
22,
Let's go!
28.
At 20, so 21.
Yeah! Let's go!
Look at all these good perceptions.
I don't care where they're getting kidnapped. They should actually get kidnapped next to Gorham just because he can finally see something.
RTM, I would like you to make me a charisma check.
Sure.
Using the dog's charisma. Wait,
I
no,
use the dog's
you
charisma.
keep your charisma in this
Yeah,
one.
that's
That's
what
right.
I'm
That's right. That's
saying.
right.
I feel like dogs have really good charisma, so you might prefer the dog's charisma.
Dude,
Especially
I
the
I'll give you
I-
advantage on it.
I rolled an 18 already, so 18 plus 1.
This
Okay.
cutest fucking dog.
That's
There's
pretty
just
good.
fucking like demon corgi just luring children away from fucking.
You actually get several kids coming up to you, like in line with the food, and they just sort of leave their mom's side, dropping the food, and they just sort of come over and start giving you scritches. Gorham, you're seeing this as you're sort of looking at all right, RTM across the way and sort of repositioning yourself to get a better view on him. Wondering probably what RTM's plan is here, as this is pretty deceptive in nature, and this is kind of messed up actually, as these kids were with their parents before this.
I
Gorham,
don't try to comprehend RTM. I watch. I watch
Does things.
to see what happens, and I react.
We do not understand the Artyom. We just react to the Artyom.
To be
Artyom's
fair,
I am unknowable.
I'm not stopping the parents from coming over and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get back over here!"
in
If they
some
want to
of-
be good parents, that's totally on them.
in some of them do. You get actually quite a few of those exact responses. Parents coming over there and fucking street dog and give you like a little bit of a nudge out of their hands, like, I told you not to do that, and like a smack on the ass or something is to discipline their child. What are you doing running away as they walk away with their kids?
There are people stealing
The-
children, don't you know?
The corgi gives an affirming
Not-
like, "Good job, parent."
Yeah, not even acting happy dog pants at parents being good parents.
Gorham, as you're watching this sort of fiasco go on, you see off to the left of this tent, your position giving you a specific angle right over here onto this large tent that has been closed for the most part. You can't see anybody currently, but you do see a side of the curtain move as if it was being opened partially. Looking across the way just slightly, you see a brim of a hat sort of peek out from underneath it, looking in the direction of Artyom and these various kids. And then it is not Bart. It is
I
not
said
Bart.
the same thing in the chat.
Oh, yo, it's evil Bart from his previous rendition before he got the eyebrows edited. It's that Bart. Oh man, I have
The
to
only
show.
person with a hat.
His name is Bert.
Where's Ernie?
Oh man, Bart's like, I'm making my own gumbo tonight.
Oh no!
But about the time you're looking in that direction, Gorham, the curtain closes back too. That's about all you see. And then erupting out of the front, everybody would actually see it, with the exception of maybe Artyom. Crowley, you could probably hear it from here. Large, like, brass instruments and various fanfare going on out of the front of this tent. Just a parade of people coming out. People on stilts, people juggling things, doing various circus acts of all sorts. You got people throwing daggers and sort of juggling daggers and just sort of making their way in, people cheering them on and everything, and stepping out sort of behind them, on large stilts himself, sort of this dark-skinned man, pencil mustache all the way across, this large sort of brimmed hat and vibrant red coat, start shouting, "Come one, come all, to the glorious circus and have a fantastic time. Come," and starts just inviting them all, everybody that is around in. You see people just start piling into this tent, into like bleachers around this area, as these performers still making their way around these various little roads around the tent marketplace. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Evil circus, evil circus, evil
Oh,
circus.
I didn't even know it was close to 6. What the-
Yeah, I
know,
thought we
right?
had like another
Yeah, that's
hour to
pretty
go.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Power forward.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We are Hard Knock Dice. My name is Jonesy. These wonderful people are our heroes, and we are going to get out of here for the night. However, do not fret, for we will be live again every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Monday, we have a Ghosts of Saltmarsh campaign DM'd by the guy directly below me right here. And then on Wednesdays, we do Tavern Talks, where we just sort of sit around, talk about various and sundry D&D things, and also draw some maps sometimes. We're seeing how that goes. And then on Saturdays, we do this, where we come around and do our Eberron campaign. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Drop a follow if you haven't yet. We really appreciate the support. However, we're going to get out of here. Thanks
Stick
again.
around. We're gonna raid.
Oh, stick
We're
around for the raid.
raid.
I get so caught up in my own voice. We are going to raid somebody, actually. Stick around, everybody.
Right of it.
Stick
I-
around, stick around.
Hey.
My cute dog form is Wishbone.
Wait a minute.
Wishbone.
Wishbone.
Of course.
All right, let's see.
Come pet him
We're
too.
gonna use
Ah,
the lawn
copyright.
service.
Let's raid our friends over at the People's Ascension. They could use a little bit of love. So let's go, guys. Get that raid ready. We got 9 viewers ready in chat, ready to raid these guys. 11, 13. Good shit, guys. Go give them some love. Much love, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Two-
bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.